Hello everyone, and welcome back to Critical Role this week, where us crazy voice actors play a nerdy game of Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm so glad you guys can join us. We had a small hiatus last week as me and Marisha were away at a cool event in the desert, but we're back. I want to give a big thanks and shout out to Ivan for running that one-shot game last week. Ivan, you kicked ass. You were awesome, and thank you for carrying the torch when we couldn't be here. So really appreciate that. And for those who tuned in for him and supporting, thank you guys. Quick little shout out to, we had actually one of our fellow critters come find us out in the desert this past week. So a shout out to our friend Scott from Boise, Idaho, operator. Thank you so much for coming and visiting. It was awesome getting to chat with you, and it was cool.
That was a surreal experience.
Yeah, we had some cool Critical Role representation out on the Pelias. That was really neat. So thank you so much. It was awesome to meet you, Scott, and thanks for coming by. Other fun announcements. This is a cool thing that came up, actually. Hasbro's working with Indiegogo right now to do essentially the search for their new face-to-face kind of party game circumstance. So they're accepting a bunch of submissions right now. I think it's nextgreatgamechallenge.com. But if you're like me and spend a lot of your youth spending your summers designing your own card games and your own board games and your own party games and such that just kind of sat there and did nothing, now is actually a really cool opportunity to submit those and possibly get them published, because the person who wins $10,000 on top of the fact they get flown out to the Hasbro, the company building, to work on developing the game with their development team. So that's pretty cool. So those of you who have that little game design brain, go ahead and throw your ideas out that way. Submit to this. Hopefully you could win. It's I think it goes till September 30th. So you don't have a whole lot of time, so get on it. But check it out. Possible opportunity for you to design your own game. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be playing it on this Twitch stream. So check that out. Also, We Love Fine is running a t-shirt design contest for the upcoming Rage of Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons release. And they've asked me to be a judge, one of the judges of that contest. So all you people with an artistic bone in your body, go ahead and design some t-shirts. Go to WeLoveFine.com, check out the contest rules for the Rage of Demons contest. But I'll be judging your designs, and hopefully if yours is appreciated by me and all the other judges, you'll be getting a cash prize and have your shirt officially sanctioned by D&D and put on WeLoveFine.com. So check that out. That's a cool thing. I've already seen some great art. Some people have floated over to Twitter. If I haven't responded, it's because I'm a judge and I probably shouldn't. But everything looks cool, so thank you guys for your submissions.
You accept cash bribes?
No. Other cool announcements. Once again, every week we have our 100 sub giveaway. Every 100 subs we get, we have a giveaway within somebody randomly within the chat who's actively in the chat. This involves a picture of the cast signed, one of our posters from our fantastic official artist Kit Buss signed, and for a few short giveaways, we'll also be giving away a copy of this pen-to-paper imaginary friend book that we received, gifted to us by 826LA.
Yes.
It's a book of a collection of stories from the kids that have been tutored at 826LA that told stories about their imaginary friends and what they were like and their adventures. And then they had a lot of talented artists and animators come in and actually illustrate what these imaginary friends look like and what their experiences are with those imaginary friends. So we'll be giving one of these away with each one of those 100 sub giveaways to you guys who've been so gracious in helping support 826LA.
Yes, we went today.
We went today to 826LA to deliver a nice big fatty check to them from you guys, and they were blown away by it. We got to teach a bunch of young kids the basics of Dungeons and Dragons, and we gave them copies of the books to hopefully start a few games of their own there. So thank you.
Such a great experience, and we took video of it. So hopefully we'll have that edited, and maybe sometime next week or the week after, so you guys can see and learn a little bit about this charity that we support and talk about every week.
Yep, we'll have a cool video up that'll show you guys our whole experience at 826LA delivering and talking to them about everything. So that'll be fun. Other announcements. This is one of the gifts that we're actually talking about at the start of the stream, because we want to utilize it through it. We have a fantastic gentleman by the name of Jim Donis sent us custom Vox Machina etched glasses with customized character glass icons. I have my Dungeon Master glass here. It's really awesome, and also sent us some really, really nice, quality, expensive drink.
Yeah, it's legit.
Legit.
It is
So,
really good.
Jim, that's ridiculous and amazing. And thank you. We shall progressively enjoy it through the stream tonight. So here's to you, Jim. Thank you very much.
So Jim.
Jim.
So Jim.
It's a whole name on the glass, too.
It's tasty. Also, announcements from us. Any project or game announcements? I know this recently sparks the release of the Mad Max game that just came out.
Yes, wait. Where's Orion?
Orion will be here in a second. He's missing his moment. Oh
But
well.
Travis plays the lead villain.
Travis is the main villain, Scrotus.
Yes, Scabry Scrotus. Who is in no way related to Grog.
No. He is large and has many curious accoutrements on his outfit.
Yes, he does. He has a giant horn on his crotch.
Yeah.
Don't know what that's about.
Are we talking about Mad Max?
Yes, we are.
Hey, he's Scrotus.
Yes.
No, right?
And you are? You are?
And you are?
I play Scab, and a bunch of war boys. So check it out, because I work for this guy here.
And I'm like a warboy commander and a bunch of other guys. So you hear a lot of me going like, "Get that guy!" And a lot of random NPCs
I think you
giving
hear
me
me
quests.
barfing a lot during that game.
Oh man, that was some of
I barf a
a
lot
lot
for that
like
game.
dry heaving for like
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hard
So-
job.
Always makes me actually kind of want to barf.
Yeah.
It kind of it makes my eyes water and be like.
You're so
"Ugh,
messy,
Yeah.
Marisha.
you know, you know you achieved it properly when the director goes like, "Okay, no, we got it." Oh. So yeah, Chris put us through the paces on our varying array of vomiting techniques on that
Love you,
project.
Chris.
So enjoy that on Mad Max. Also, same time just came out Metal Gear Solid 5: Phantom Pain. For those of you who worked on that one, I know Marisha. Do you want to talk about your involvement in that?
Yes. Oh, Sam.
We have a Sam. Sam's arrived. Yay!
Yeah, I'm one of
Need
the
the chair.
Diamond Dog soldiers that you can eventually recruit and play as. And so you can either shoot at me a lot and kill me a lot, or you can run around as me. And apparently once you get me, I've got like better stats than Big Boss, which
course
is
you do.
pretty fucking dope.
Damn right you do.
So yeah.
And I also voice a lot of the male Diamond Dog soldiers and or enemy soldiers throughout the game. So you'll be shooting and capturing and recruiting a lot of me and Marisha throughout the game. Yeah, so check that out. Any other announcements?
Yes.
Scott?
Speaking of Mad Max again, because it's super cool. I've actually partnered with Twitch as of 10 days ago. So I'm doing with Twitch, and I've been playing the shit out of Mad Max. So follow me on there, Orion Akaba at Twitch, and check that shit out.
You should play some Metal Gear.
Nope.
Phantom Pain.
Not until you
should
beat Mad
listen to me,
Max.
Dad.
You should play some Borderlands.
I'll go to your place and watch you play. So because I want to watch you play your.
Why don't you come to
character.
our
Reminds me
place
plays
to
my
watch
character.
Laura play Borderlands? We'll chain this.
There you go.
Guys,
God.
why don't we just LAN party
Oh,
and only
God.
play as
That'd be
characters
fun.
we voiced?
That's not masturbatory
And not have
at
fun
all.
with each other at
Not
all.
at all.
Yeah, that's
a
weird.
little ring. We can make a little ring.
Yes, of narcissism.
Exactly.
That's gross.
Cool. Do we have any other announcements? Anything
Oh
else?
yeah, it's the start of the 2015 NFL football season. I'll be repping the Dallas Cowboys today. They're not playing right now, but they will be on Sunday. Go Cowboys!
Awesome. For the 4 of you that are interested in football, watching this stream,
We all come from different walks.
I know.
alright?
No, that's awesome. Cool. There you go. I learned something
Teach
today.
me of your ways.
My sorcerer's ways.
I was too much of an indoor kid, but
There
I'm
goes-
learning.
There
I'm
goes
learning.
ball.
You're
Chase
learning.
ball.
We're growing. We're
I am.
learning and growing.
I got really into rugby when we were in New Zealand. I was like, oh, sports I can watch.
Yeah. Rugby's dope, man. They're hardcore.
Yeah, they hit each other really hard.
Yeah.
They call things like a scrum. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's rugby scrub.
Intense, man.
Yeah, that's some brutal stuff.
Yeah. So we will have a Liam possibly joining us later in the evening. He had some family commitments tonight, but he's going to hope to try and join us around 8:30 or 9, if at all. So fingers
coming next
crossed. Oh no, we got Scanlan jumping ship now.
I've never been over here
Bench
before.
pad.
How does it feel on that side?
Is it weird?
When I played
weird.
with Will
Oh, it's weird.
Friedel, the Friedel.
I was on that side.
Yeah,
No, I wasn't. I was
Yeah,
on
we
that
were
side.
switched.
yeah, we were over there.
That's right, it's weird. It does feel weird.
Everything flushes the other way around.
Yeah,
That's how it works in this
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
Which is
Is it
vital
colder over
to
there?
a
Are you
scam.
guys in winter?
Yeah,
Because we're
it
in
is.
summer.
Oh, wow, that's
Where
so
are we?
weird.
No, it's awesome.
Well, anything else? We get our announcements?
Yeah.
So,
Perfect. All right.
good.
Well then, let's go ahead and roll that intro and return. We'll jump right into the game and kick up this next session of Critical Role. See you in just a minute. Welcome back. Quick announcement that I forgot also, there is a Kickstarter up for the third Mythica film, which if you guys haven't watched it, it's a really awesome kind of indie budget fantasy series, and a bunch of good friends are in it. And I play the main villain, Necromancer Zorlok, who showed up a little bit in the second film, and the third one is now going into post, and that's what the Kickstarter is asking for your help with. Something you want to donate to, it's a cool project, you get to watch me be all evil and cast
I
necromantic-
watched it. It's fun. It's really fun.
You just see me cast necromantic spells at Kevin Sorbo. I mean, what more could you want, really?
Nothing.
Our hair has a battle. It's wonderful.
Our mighty DM versus Hercules.
Indeed. I remember the first time we met on set, he came up to me and goes like, "What's your mother's name?" I still wonder. But anyway, let us bring us back to the story.
Wow.
Now, Vox Machina, after completing the trials of the Slayer's Take and acquiring their marking brand as essence of them joining the actual guild itself, meeting the Gynosphinx that is currently responsible... Such children. Responsible for the development and the progression of the guild itself. They found themselves having Pike join them for about a week time while the landscape of her temple to Saren Ray was being cleansed of a curse, and the group decided to follow through on their promise to aid Keylith on her Aramente to find the Pyra people to the far southwest of Vasselheim. After
I'm burping garlic.
garlic, stinking cloud over there. You thought he wasn't a caster. Made their way to the mountains, eventually to the actual Pyra tribe itself, where they underwent a trial through the plane of fire, the elemental plane of fire. Battled some of the druids of the Pyra themselves in elemental fire form, combated against time through a cinder storm as they attempted to escape, managed to do so with their lives, and in doing so, gained the blessing from the Aramente for Keylith from the Pyra tribe. As well as a blessing from their main druid as well, as a Sparkstone. Yes. And returned to Vasselheim. Pike then said her goodbyes again, returning to help the restoration of the Temple of Saren Ray, and you have all been left to your devices now. So, as you all awaken the next morning within the guild hall itself, your journey and your path is your own to take.
We wake the next morning. Beard check, please.
Beard check.
0 or 10?
That's 0.
That's
No,
good.
It's good.
That's a-
That's 100.
It depends.
That's 100.
Are you serious?
again?
Second time that's happened.
0.
All you had to have rolled was like a 9 or anything other than a 0. That's all you would have. Anything.
0.
In any other case, that would have been.
If this was like second edition Encyclopedia Magica, you would have just gotten like the most broken artifact ever. You've rolled
Yeah.
200s.
You would have
I'm
gotten a
sorry.
Back to
holy
back.
beard, some
With
sort
a,
of
with a
beard of
tiny
power.
methodical squeak, your pores produce but a few random molecules of hair-like material that then in the air around your
Is
chin.
it at least rough? You know, like, oh, he needs to shave. It's so
Nice,
rough.
smooth as a baby's bottom.
well oiled.
This is a. This
Fine
is
leather.
Is
That's what your face was.
this still in the time? It's still 24 hours since we had the feast, right? Like it still counts. Still that same
No,
time?
because
I'd say
the
you've
travel back to
traveled
the
back.
town took about 2.5, 3 days, so that's been long past the feast time. So the benefits of the Heroes Feast have already been washed from your system.
Could I have taken a piece
Where
with
am
me?
I?
Like a piece of.
You.
That's a good word. Like
That's
that.
a very good
Like,
question.
kind of fade
As you
over time.
returned, you guys, tired from the venture, went to sleep. You have spent the past week or so
On my own.
on your own, essentially finding one of the various establishments in the city that can aid you through your sore muscles, through the help of feminine companionship, or other types of companionship, whatever your preference may be. But upon leaving, realized that your party had left and had been gone for some time.
And where are they? Where am I? So have I? Where are they?
Gone.
Where am I?
You've just now found word that they've returned to the Slayer's Take Guild Hall, and you've made your way in that direction this bright morning.
Because it's free to stay there.
Yeah, we can say that for free.
Hello.
Oh, Scanlan!
Hello,
Where have you guys been?
Scanlan, you just
Around.
missed-
What? Pike?
Did
Wait,
you really
what?
I said that really.
Pike was
I
here.
didn't.
First thing.
I
Yeah.
should
Right
have
out of the gate.
Harsh,
worked
wasn't it?
that.
We took a field trip with her. You were.
What
in
are you
this
talking
boat.
about? Why didn't you call
was
me?
so
We
sad.
have an earring.
You left
We
your earring.
have an earring.
I used it
was
twice,
on
and you
the
said,
tray.
"Stop bothering me, Tiberius."
Well,
Are we sure it wouldn't just don't stop bothering me?
We were hearing very weird things from the other end of that
No,
earpiece.
he
That's
definitely said
true.
my name and told me to stop.
You didn't lead with Pike, though. You should have said Pike's
Oh,
here. Hey,
that's smart.
hey, Pike's
You
here.
Probably should have done that.
My bad. Sorry about that.
I mean, I was having a fun time, but I would have dropped everything to be with Pike.
Well, a Stormwind likes to finish a sentence, and I apparently didn't start the sentence correctly for you to hold your attention long enough.
Don't bury the lead.
Right.
Pike first. Always Pike first.
Right, sorry.
I wasn't even at a brothel.
I was.
You were.
I walked toward the brothel, but then I bumped into Zara. Remember? Zara?
Oh, Zara.
She
Yes.
invited me over. We talked all night. One thing led to another. Nothing untoward, but we just had a nice slumber party. It was lovely. It was me and a couple of tieflings. 3, I think. We were doing each other's hair, telling stories, playing songs. It was wonderful.
Can I roll to see if he's bullshitting?
You can go ahead and make a. This would be an insight.
Yeah, Grog, inside check. Modifier is 0. That's a 9.
You are enthralled by his tale. Your elbows are on the edge of the bedspread right now, with your hands clasped.
My feet behind me,
Yeah,
crisscrossing,
just go
like
back and
kicking.
forth. You're this
man.
close to like a breakdown from Greece. It's pretty fantastic.
Tell me more, tell me more.
It was great. We had a great PG night.
Sounds lovely.
Sounds like exactly what you
know,
needed.
that sounds like a wonderful time. It's all right that you.
Yeah,
missed Pike.
except I would have dropped everything to come to see the woman I love, the
But
woman of
then-
my dreams, the woman I will marry and bear children with.
Yes, of course.
Wow. That got really
I don't know if
real.
she'll bear
Yes.
mine or
I
I'll
don't know
bear
if I've ever
hers.
heard you
Whatever.
say that out
Yes,
loud.
how does it
That
work
was
with gnomes?
very
No,
impressive.
it's tricky.
Yes, I've never seen a gnome birth before.
Well, you never know.
Would it help if there were trolls?
Ooh, don't get me started.
All right, so if there were trolls, it would be better that you missed everything. There
Goblins.
weren't.
He hates
There weren't
goblins.
trolls, but if there had been, it would
Well,
have
at
been better.
least we're all together again.
We got to meet
We
my
can-
family.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I missed everything.
We missed a couple of
What did you do
points,
for all
but
the
you
days
know.
we've been gone now?
This was a long slumber party. We just kept going and going, and I was at one point I was like, okay, I'll see you. Oh, there's another meal. Okay, I'll stick around for another day, and we just kept going and going.
Did
We
you do
went-
nails and?
We did, not my hands, just my toenails. My
Oh, good.
toenails.
All right.
All right.
We braided hair. We connected.
That's wonderful.
Sounds nice.
Some good food.
Connected.
Well, at least we're all back. We can get on the flying carpet and go somewhere fun, right?
Oh.
Well,
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who wants to? Who wants
Scanlan,
to?
you've missed everything.
Maybe we should let Keylith explain where the flying carpet went to
yes,
Scanlan.
Keylith, where is the flying carpet?
Why do I have to explain it?
You're right, Tiberius. Where did the flying carpet?
It's right here. I open my bag of holding. It just doesn't fly anymore.
You have a bag of holding?
Yes, I went to I went to Draconia for like 2 minutes and picked one
That's
up.
really far.
Oh, I
got a
teleported.
thing.
I did the thing.
did a thing.
I went there, came back.
So they
like shopping.
killed the carpet. It lives no more.
I might have a solution.
They also spent a lot of money.
Well,
But
that's-
hey,
To make an
they
omelette.
didn't die, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And we fought a devil.
A
Whoa.
demon.
we did.
The devil?
No, just a Rakshasa.
A devil.
It seems that an enormous
No.
amount of alcohol has given you some perspective. I'm very proud of you. Well done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for catching me up, fellows.
Really,
What's our
one
mission
night's
now?
all it takes. For
One night is all it should
Well-
take. Yes.
What are we doing now?
That is a good question.
I have a suggestion, but first I'm going to bring up Lockheed and Keylith. Do you think you could help
You've
me
missed everything.
little fella out?
Exactly.
I was gone for like a day. There's a dragon.
I'm gonna take him out of this cage. I'm gonna put him on. I'm gonna put him on the table here.
Oh, he's got puppy breath. Oh, yes you do.
It
is.
Yes you do.
Slightly worse than puppy breath, but I guess comparable.
Like
So you
raw
want me to cure
meat.
him of poison?
Meaty.
He's diseased of sorts.
Dead
so
squirrel.
Maybe see if you could perhaps use your medicine strengths to see what the problem is.
I mean, the hero's feast would have worked.
Yes, I know. That's why I asked earlier, as the other guy.
We did not have him with us then.
The other guy.
We didn't have him with us when we had the feast.
No, I don't know.
He was with you, but it was not specified
You
that he
didn't
did not
think
eat
of
the
him
feast.
at the time.
I said I fed him, but I didn't say what I fed him. So,
I have a
My bad.
strange thought.
What?
again.
When was the last time we went home?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. If we're gonna go
Which
home,
home?
Emon.
We'll have to wait till
Grayskull.
Right. If we're gonna go home, I would really, 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 really like to stop by Craghammer.
And pick up our money.
Yes.
I think that's a very
25,000
reasonable.
gold on the
I
way.
say
And
we.
if we're going to leave, could I make a small request?
You want to try again, don't you?
I have a bit of a chip on my shoulder.
Oh!
Would you mind terribly if I maybe went out to the street and picked a fight?
Just one little fight, or are you gonna fight?
Just go out on the street. You're not gonna chase down what's his butt?
I want Kern.
Okay, we're gonna go find Kern. Are we
going to
going?
go find Kern?
Sure about this?
Hang on. Are we gonna go find Kern and do this with rules, or are we gonna do this without rules?
Without rules, you would win.
You would win without rules.
I can't do it. I have to do it by the rules.
So you want to go
in the
to
stadium.
the Crucible again?
Yeah, but
Crucible?
does is there like a tavern downstairs or any kind of anywhere that have cups or wineskins or?
Within the guild hall, there is a kind of a mess hall area that near a kitchen would have cups, but it's not like a full tavern. There were-
Tiberius, do you have
go
any
to a tavern, have a
wineskins
wineskin?
or anything?
Oh yeah, probably.
Excuse me?
Do you have
General
a
store would.
wineskin?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was waiting on my first request before.
Oh, what was your first request?
To see if Keylith could do
I was
anything.
waiting for a
But
break
a
in
wineskin? Yes.
conversation.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
What are you asking?
Can I do a check to see if I can tell what Lockheed has? Like what kind of disease?
Sure, go ahead and make a medicine check.
Oh, he's sick. Oh, get me away from
21.
He's cute as tiny.
21.
thank
Looking at Lockheed, you get the feeling that his disease essentially comes from a continuous time period of poor meat being presented as a meal option. It's less of a magical or any sort of a natural disease. It is just something that is passing through his system.
Emaciated? Like,
Not too emaciated, more than just some bad meat has found its system, which means without treatment over time, his health could diminish. However, if the food you've been feeding him has been of decent level, if this continues, it might clear. It could be aided through the use of
He's a rescue.
simple healing salves and or natural remedies.
before we go on your pummeling journey, Grog,
Can I
which
make
I
a
fully
few
support.
good
'cause-
berries for him and feed him a few more good berries?
Yeah, and
Why
Where?
not great berries?
Well, I guess that's a matter of opinion.
So,
Percy.
as far as the matters at hand, I, of course, Grog, encourage your violence. And Taliesin, I do like the idea of going back to Emon. And
What did you just?
who?
Who did you just?
Grog.
You
And
just
then you just said.
you just NPC'd me.
sorry.
You just NPC'd me all over the place.
I'm sorry, I was speaking Draconic again.
Yeah.
Percy.
That's draconic for my man.
Taliesin is my mother's name, please. No,
Sorry. I get, no, that's not your mother's name.
it's not my mother's name. But,
What's your mother's name?
no, she wasn't Welsh. Carry on.
Okay.
was your
I do.
mother's name?
I'm sorry. Percival. I go over to Percival and I'm gonna give him a hug.
Oh God.
Sorry, I'm scared.
It's all right. We didn't touch in my family. Go ahead.
I like the idea of going back to Emon. But before that, I do believe we should go back to Craghammer and
Yes.
collect our gold.
Yes.
Did we say that already?
We did.
You did.
Wonderful. I was concerned about Lockheed here.
So much
Just to be clear,
happened.
I'm gonna put him on my shoulder.
did you say you encourage my violence?
Of course.
I take off running out of the room.
Bounding poof.
Oh, Tiberius, you have to
the
be
guild hall.
careful. You have to be responsible. when you're
Was there a window in the
encouraging.
room?
No, not this one.
Okay,
He's going to do that.
Could have made
We're gonna do Looney Tunes hole in the wall.
So as Grog bounds off into the distance,
Oh
you
God.
guys give chase?
Yes.
Yes.
After you get out into the main
Shaking our
thoroughfare,
heads.
We really need to make that leash for him, like we said we were going to.
as you make your way into the main thoroughfare, you look over and you catch the image of the distant Goliath heading northward towards the Braving Grounds, just plowing through the crowd. You see a couple of people that are like knocked flat onto their ass, kind of like head shaking. What just happened? As he just goes bounding into the distance.
Follow the trail of distressed people.
I give chase. I give myself fly so I can go over the crowd easily. With Lockheed.
As you glide over the cloud, you can see a few Bastions glance up and kind of narrow their eyes and begin whispering to themselves to keep
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh.
I realize what I'm doing and I stop.
You come to a slow gliding.
That's going under Tombstone. As I realize what I'm doing, and I stop.
As you enter the group, you perceive less than him that there are now no less than 5 bastions that are keeping about a 30-foot distance, walking and following behind Tiberius.
Oh.
I go up and I tell Tiberius, maybe it's best just to keep a low profile for a while. And I turn around and wave at the bastions.
It's all right. He's from Emon.
As soon as you wave and make that interaction, they break off into group of 2 and 3 and just go in 2 different directions and disappear into the crowd.
Cool, well, that was fun.
Hunter's mark one of them. Just
Yeah, I just marked one of them.
Do they feel that?
Oh, wait, yeah, can they feel that?
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check on this.
Oh gosh, wait, which one should I roll for?
walk up
I'll
and
roll this one.
Hunter's mark.
Okay, how down?
Just a beacon on their heads.
Oh, natural 20, what? Oh,
First roll.
no, wait, that was
Second roll.
You are the anti-Whedon as of late. It's kind of amazing. All right, yeah. You hunters mark one of the bastions who wanders off into the crowd, and you have a very, very good idea of where him and or the cluster that's with him is moving. And so as you guys progress, following this path that Grog is carving through the crowd, heading through the main bazaar area at the center of the Quad Roads district, heading kind of northwestern up into the braving grounds of Vasselheim, you can also sense that they are following, though at a good 60-foot distance, kind of keeping an eye on the red-scaled dragonborn that then flew out into the open air, the midday sun, with his tinier dragon, his very meta dragon-on-dragon action.
Yeah.
You continue pushing into the Braving Grounds area, and you can see now the giant black smokestacks that are billowing up from the various blacksmithies, and there's a large industrial iron complex that is used in the mining and reforming of all the weapons and armor that go to the most of the bastions in the city here in the Braving Grounds. You make your way up towards the Bellows Respite Inn, to where the Crucible itself is held in the center. As you approach, it is midday. There's no crowd gathered. The Crucible is currently emptied and kind of left on its own. You kind of glance about for a second, and there's nobody here running any sort of fight ring.
Damn it. I'll have to come back.
What are we gonna
Kern!
As you were shouting it into the air, a few people nearby
But
kind
the
of...
Star Trek reference is good.
Yeah, people around you start glancing it back.
I was. Yeah. But his name's Kern.
Yeah, it works out fine.
I got it.
Nearby individuals kind of drop their stuff and look over as this billowing, deep Goliath voice fills the air around the center of this mildly, business as usual road vicinity. Suddenly, a few individuals come looking out from the inside the Bellows Respite Inn. This is a kind of a tavern portion to the front. One of which is Once Lucky Ned, who is the person who runs the tavern. He's like a human barkeep that wanders out and, "You, Philip, yelling Kern," and you see this look in his face like,
Bring me the body of Kern.
Alive.
He wants to fight him.
he cocks his head a little bit at you. Just a moment, stay right there. And he runs back inside.
Be a street fight.
Oh god! I hear Scanlan say that, and I run out and I say, "Fight!"
At this point, other members of the tavern are starting to come out, tankards in hand, like, here, what's going on? They see you, it's gonna be a fight at the Crucible! You hear the shouts going off in the nearby house. It's like echoing, like town crier to town crier. You're hearing voices echo throughout the entirety of the Braving Grounds, of people preparing for this midday, unexpected, sudden throwdown. At this point, you see a few of the bastions wearing the armor that is geared towards Cord, the god of strength that runs this
Am I
portion
the
of
ones that I'm
Vasselheim.
keeping an eye on? Or different ones?
No, the ones that you're keeping an eye on were from the Quad Roads, and they're still staying back. One of them's the one that you've marked is around the corner, just kind of keeping an eye on everybody, but he's kind of mainly keeping to himself. He does stand out like a sore thumb because his armor is darker and based around Arathis, whereas here the bastions that are kind of under Cord's vision have more of a red, kind of dark, almost rusty look to their armor. Anyway, as the shouts continue, some of the core bastions kind of gather, one of which you recognize as the one who was acting as the bookie the first time you came to the Crucible. And he looks, his eyes are kind of wiping sleep from his eyes. It looks like he just got into his armor and rushed out here, over about 10 minutes since you first came out here and shouted your challenge to the sky. He kind of rushes out for a second. You! Hey!
Might I hear properly that you are challenging our standing champion once again?
Aye, you heard right.
Midday now, near the noonday sun.
Aye, where everyone can see and he can't hide.
He glances over to another Bastion that's to his left.
Get Kern, now.
He rushes off and kind of looks back to you.
Well then, a fight we're gonna have.
Oh boy.
At this point now, there's probably about 20, 25 people that begin to gather around the outskirts of the Crucible or around you. You're going, oh, it's Philip. Philip's showing down with Kern. And there's all these different whispers now going throughout the crowd as the rest of you kind of gather. The Bastion that you've been following kind of backs off and stays further back and is like slowly keeping a distance further away as the crowd begins to gather, not wanting to stay inconspicuous amongst all this chaos and rabble you guys have collected.
I join in with everybody else.
Do you have
Yeah. Did you see that? Kern's fighting Philip.
Why are you telling me this?
What?
Of course I know.
Kern's fighting.
I also know.
Try.
No, I wanna.
You need time to
I wanna
bind
pass off.
Maybe make a
Can I
friend.
try
like a
to
new
pass
friend.
off subtly my
Anyone
ring of
but
AC
us.
to
Kyle
Grog?
doesn't know.
AC.
It's
Grog,
fine.
do you have
No,
currently
You're
a-
doing fine.
an
You're doing
enchantment
fine.
protection
Don't
currently?
make a new friend.
Nope. Well,
You've got enough.
You do not.
I don't.
On the ring, does it say attunement required?
No.
I like
It
been
doesn't.
pretty
I
good
don't
on
think.
friends.
Hold on. Let me look.
Miss you.
I can look it up for you, if need be.
Ring of protection.
Yeah, my belt of dwarven kind is the
It
only thing,
just
but that's
says
all.
+2 bonus to AC and saving throw. Requires
Attunement
a
required. So yeah, you have to take time to go ahead and attune the magical item. Unfortunately,
Damn it,
that
I'm
won't
sorry, Grog.
It's all right.
Then you
All
should
right.
have taken off running.
About 20 minutes pass by as the crowd has now gathered to about 50 to 60 people. Apparently, word of your last battle has gotten around, and now there's this fevered pitch of interest. People have dropped what they're doing, and the smokestacks you can see have slowly turned to a dribble as everyone who's working the nearby forges and or smelting irons have all rushed out here to see this battle and dropped what they're doing. This has turned into full-on, Morpheus is fighting Neo.
I turn to the bookkeep and I take out my entire coin purse and I throw it at him.
Miss,
And
I use my hand, my mage hand.
Don't use magic.
Oh no, I don't. I don't do that.
We whack him on the head before he starts to do the hand. Stop it!
I throw him the coin purse and I say,
All I do.
I expect to see that double when I get out. And I jump into the pit before Kern even arrives.
Okay, you leap down as the whole crowd goes, "Yeah!" and this series of shouting screams surround the air around you. He grabs the coin purse. How much is in that coin purse?
According to this, it's 11. Well, that's that can't be right. Can it?
11,000.
Personal funds.
Your personal funds, not what's in the bag of holding.
1,363.
1,363. Okay, gold pieces.
That's normal.
We should just
All right.
start charging admission at the door.
He probably has
All right.
more than that.
I run up to the. There's a bookie here.
There is a bookie.
I run up to him very subtly, say, "I'd like 100 against Grog, please."
Okay, he looks down at you and says,
Not bad. Going with the odds.
Right, yeah.
It's 3-1 against him.
Just don't.
It's
don't
3 to
mention-
1.
If I win,
I'll
maybe
put the
collect
rest of
later.
the. I have 600 gold.
you don't
pieces.
hear this because he's talking
Just
off
I'll collect later. Don't say it.
I'll tap out.
Got this, Grog.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got this.
Good chap. I would like to to place a bet. 500 gold pieces on Philip.
On to Philip. All right.
I'm going to break my bank and follow suit to my human friend as well. 612 is, I think, all I have left.
You heard
Curious
my
number, but
warmly
certainly.
congratulations.
What is the point of
At this time, you can see the crowd now
See,
gets a
if
little
we
more
win-
hushed.
if
People are like, oh,
then we
and you
get
see, you don't
way
see
more
this
money
because you're down in
back.
the Crucible. You guys see as
Gold.
in the distance, the crowd, which has probably gathered to close to 70 plus
if you have
people,
gold
begins
and
to
you-
part. And you see walking over, soot smeared across the front of his face. Stepping up is Kern the Hammer, bristled half-orc mustache, a little bit tousled from a day of hard work, sweat glistening off the top of his brow of his shaved
Facial
head.
hair.
Oh, he's missing a lip.
Oh, that's true.
Was
As
it
he
healed?
as he approaches, you can see. I mean, there has been some healing through the quick work of the clerics that worked after the last battle. However, there is definitely a section of his upper lip that is permanently missing, looking almost like a half-cleft palate. You can see beneath it his sneering yellowed teeth, kind of grinding as he approaches the Crucible.
I believe in you, Philip.
No.
I'm gonna bet.
You gonna bet?
I'm gonna
All right.
bet. I'm gonna put 600 on Philip.
Whoa.
So wait, and this betting thing is enjoyable?
No, it's not. It's a gamble. Like what we
feels
do with our
terrible.
lives constantly,
It feels
but with
bad.
gold.
It's terrible.
So why do we do it?
So we can make more
money.
if we win. And plus, it's giving faith in our friend.
Yes.
It's a symbol.
It's inspiration.
Bet 5 gold on Philip.
More than
That's an excellent bet.
Five gold.
That is an excellent bet, Q.
All right.
Thank you. Is that how it works?
Vax,
See how it feels when you either
Vax stands behind you and is like,
Okay.
yes, I'll stand behind you.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
And keeps his gold
Good
purse
call.
to himself. At this point, the crowd kind of separates. Everyone's kind of this tension mounting. Everyone's eyes are on Kern as he steps up to the edge of the crucible. You now notice the dark figure. The noonday sun is now high in the sky, and you can see but a little bit of the shadowed outline of Kern, muscle-bound, looming over the edge of the crucible. You hear a voice call down to you, low and gravelly and familiar. You! Do you like the gift I sent you?
I reach into my belt and I pull out his upper lip and I give it a smell.
I say, I've enjoyed it very much. I've come to collect the rest.
And I fling it into the pit.
It's the ground.
You're not wearing the medal. A shame, really. I thought you'd be more proud of your status.
Leaps down into the pit right before you. With his grin on his face.
Fucking metal.
As everyone's kind of gathered around, people are now swarming the bookie, like handing gold left and right. He's making notes in this little like ledger out of his pocket. People are beginning to gather around and crush against the outsides of the crucible. Some people being careful, almost be pushed in. At this point in time now, Kern's kind of glaring at you, and you guys are slowly circling each other.
You've been training, I see. Good. So have I.
Oh no.
He goes and takes his wineskin, pops on the top.
Oh.
Surely, a man of your stature would honor me by sharing a drink before this battle.
Takes. Throws you the wineskin.
How much is left in there?
About a third.
Oh no.
You're clutching it in your hand, and he's staring at you intently.
I don't drink such piss water.
I pour it out. I take out my own wineskin that I filled with the stone giant strength.
Yes!
And I chug it down.
He's juicing! He's juicing!
You see him kind of like snarl to the side as you toss his wineskin to the ground. You chug your own. It tastes very heavily. This is frost giant strength, you said?
Or the stone giant, yeah.
Oh, the stone giant. It tastes very heavily of like black charcoal dust grit, and the actual liquid itself has a very, very gravelly texture as it goes down your throat. You can feel chunks getting caught, but you just push through and continue gulping it. It's thicker like a molasses than it is an actual liquid. You finish it off, toss it to the side. Go ahead and mark your increase to strength for this.
I got it down already.
All right. You came prepared.
Gonna need a montage.
You toss your wineskin to the side. The bookie, you hear now, raise his hand.
All here in attendance.
That's us.
We have here in the Crucible this day a rematch of Titans. The standing champion of all the braving grounds of Vasselheim, Kern the Hammer.
The crowd.
Come on, Kern! Come on, Kern!
Raining on copper, silver, and gold
Make it
pieces
roar.
in the ground around you, Grog. You guys should stay intensely locked in that warrior glare.
Challenging him once again, tail between his legs, intent on claiming his glory. Returning to the Crucible, Philip.
No!
Yes!
No!
What?
Philip is dead.
Oh.
There is no Philip. There is only Grog, the vengeful.
Up around the outside of the crucible.
Yes!
You now see the entire crowd, like the energy itself is electric in the air. Eyes are intense and bloodshot. Everyone is looking down into what is about to be, hopefully, a drag-out, throw-down fight. You feel the rippling strength of your stone giant elders tearing through your body as the muscles tense. You flex, and you hear with each muscle tensing and the popping of bones and sinew as you prepare yourself for this. As you're doing this, you see across the way, Kern. cracks his knuckles, and you can see now the giant scar from his snarling lip. You realize he hasn't been snarling this whole time. It's just the natural state of his current smile. And then he snarls. You see his forkish pucks protruding out, and the gums themselves, black and purple, peering out from underneath his upper lip that you once destroyed.
I'm gonna take yours this time, boy.
Enough words, Toothless. Let's do this.
Roll initiative.
Oh, like advantage. Better.
Music change. Music change.
20.
Music change. Music change.
Nice.
I'm gonna use my deck of illusions.
How did you have that ready?
Witchcraft!
Oh, he had it ready.
I keep all my stuff at the ready just in case. All right.
That predictable.
Using special dice.
I have a whole cluster over here.
That prepared.
All right. Okay. So what'd you get for initiative total?
20.
20.
18 plus 2.
Papers just littering more apartment. Just
Like clusters and clusters of maps that are either used or unused at all times. Alrighty.
House is a D&D
Give you a book on
I'm so sorry.
dictionary organizational systems.
All right.
Shelf of
As
dragons.
you're prepping for the circumstance, you're up first, Grog. You have initiative.
I race towards Kern, and I duck down as if I'm going to go into a form tackle towards his waist. I take a step to the side at the last second and wrap around my arms around his waist from behind, pick him up to DDT him over my shoulder.
DDT! Okay. For this, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Oh God!
25.
25.
18 plus
I've
7.
been waiting for this day.
You rolled a 23. 15 plus 8. So you rush up behind. He goes in for the feint, attempts to parry it. However, you vanish from the side. He feels the arms wrap around him, and he reaches down instinctively to pry them away, but it's too late as you lift him up off of his back and whack, send him onto the ground. Go ahead and roll 1d2 plus your strength modifier.
1D what?
1d4?
Well, it's 1d4 divided by 2.
Or you can use your coin.
6.
6. All right. So he took the damage. There's no attacks this round currently. However, he is currently prone. Much for he is prone on the ground. As you slam him onto the ground and release him, he falls to the ground. You hear this exhale of pain. All right. You also have a bonus action still.
That's right. With that action, I would like to go into... Does it take an action to rage?
It takes a bonus action for you to rage.
Which is what this is.
Yes.
I would like to rage.
And with that, as you see his form crumpled on the ground, he gets up to one knee and begins standing up, kind of wiping off a little bit of the dust that's been smeared across his slobbered chin. You look down at him, and the skylight, a light that's pouring down into this from the sun that was once white and yellow in tone, now turns to red as your eyes focus on your quarry before you. That ends your turn. Kern uses half movement to stand up. Looks at you, and kind of gives this kind of chuckle.
This early then. So be it.
Bites the edge of his wrist and tears a chunk of his own flesh off the side of his arm. Uses his bonus action to rage.
Oh shit.
Goes into his frenzied rage as well, and it's just come at you with both fists. One thing you notice, strangely, Kern, who previously just seemed to throw haymakers at you before attacks, goes into a stance.
Oh shit!
He
monked up!
And just goes in to swing 2 heavy fists at you. That is going to be a
Can you hear me? What I'm saying?
oh yeah. Let's see, 24.
That hits?
And that is gonna be a 27.
Yeah, that'll hit too.
All right. First hit is 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Second one is 8 points of damage.
You got 9 points
Whack.
of damage?
Yeah. And for this, just for those who are paying attention, they're both raging. They both take a half damage, but since they're both doing it, we're just negating both abilities. Otherwise, this battle would take for 3 hours.
Right.
So whack, whack. These fists you see as they hit you, they're not just extremely strong and powerful previously, but they're hitting precise areas where you feel the muscle and bone is less resistant. There is technique to these punches that was not there before.
Grog.
No problem.
No problem!
Got it.
Just don't forget your shit.
For the
Don't forget your
masses.
shit.
Going to dodge to the side here. just kind of diff dodge off to the side, prepares himself, fists ready for defensive action. It's your go.
All right, right. I would like to enter a frenzied rage. And I would like to, since he moves up to my side,
Super Saiyan.
I see him move, and I throw a back fist into the concave area of his nose.
Okay.
Oh!
That's where it stings.
23.
23 hits.
That is 6.
6 damage?
Yes.
Alrighty.
I would like to then reach forward as he's reeling back from that hit with both of my thumbs and throw him towards his eyes.
Blind that.
Oh, go for
Good
the
attempt to blind.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what this is going to be. Is this going to be for your second attack? Kind of a loose grapple, and we'll see if you can manage to push forward from that point. So go ahead and make an athletics check.
14.
14. That is going to be a 16 on his end, unfortunately. As you reach up, he slaps the hands away. His defensive posture, he was ready for that sort of advance and just knocks him to the side with a grin. Yeah. You do still have a bonus action if you wish to use it.
If he knocks it aside, I take my right leg and I throw it to the outside of his kneecap, trying to snap his ACL or MCL.
Okay, go ahead and roll for the attack on that.
That's a 27.
27 does indeed hit.
Why didn't that happen before?
Yes.
That's a 7.
7 points of damage.
Yes.
Oof, all right. Alrighty. As he pushes your hands out of the way, you whack a resounding snap sound as your foot hits the side of his thigh. His leg muscles himself are like a tree trunk and takes most of the impact of the damage, and you see him. You see the pain in his face. His grin gives way to a sudden grimace of pain. Your leg is now held in place. He resisted the full force of the blow to some physical damage himself, but not enough to knock the knee out.
Okay.
This does put you. Do you want to move at all? You're gonna stay where you are.
I would like to move to his flank his right side.
Alrighty.
Put him in a body bag!
Move over to that. It comes to his turn. As you're moving to the side, he spins around this time.
Oh.
You have not seen him yet use his legs to this extent to a full back roundhouse kick towards your head.
Don't move
That is going to be a 20.
That hits.
It hits.
Don't move.
Okay. Second attack is going to be a 19.
That hits.
Next attack is going to be a 12. No, 13. 13.
That misses.
Okay. So the roundhouse kick swings around, completely unexpected as you pull to the side. It smack hits you right square in the side of the face and jaw. You take, that is going to be 7 points of damage.
Okay.
And as you're reeling from that, he brings the leg back, jumps in the air, and does a secondary jump side swiping kick to the other side of your head as you're kind of loose into the side. Whack! Whack! Second one doing 8 points of damage.
Oh. Jesus.
Okay. All right.
And that's going to, he's going to go ahead and move slightly over here, trying basically getting you up against the wall. He's like situating himself now, where since you moved to the side, he's putting you in this kind of pincher formation between the wall and himself. That ends his turn. You're up.
Just came back from a concession.
I see you've been taking some ballet. How very cultured of you.
And I rush forward. I'm between him and the wall.
You are between him and the wall, yes.
I love this arena. I get up on Trinket's shoulders and share.
Trinket roars with you. This resounding, this roar of victory, which people around you immediately like take 2 steps away from the large bear that's suddenly now roaring in the center.
Yeah,
you guys
back
are
up.
unfazed, too focused on each other.
Everybody
Come on,
churros.
Grog!
I rush up and give him a little nasty the last time for a double thunderclap to either side of his ears.
Ooh, okay.
That is 13.
13, unfortunately, as you go to swing, he ducks out of the way, and your hands slap into each other, finding no purchase on his head.
That's all right. Since I didn't find any purchase, I'll see where his ears are, try and grab them, and I'm gonna attempt to rip his ears off of his head.
Oh,
Yeah!
Those nice pointy ears.
wow. Okay, so your second attack is going to be to try and grab his ears. Okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
16.
16, no. As you go up for the one ear, he parries it to the side with his hand.
Third attack.
Jesus.
14.
14. Knocks the
Three
one out of the
rolls.
way. As you swinging at him. He seems to just be dodging out of the way. He still has the force behind him, but whatever he's picked up now is completely throwing you off. You weren't prepared. You were prepared for a bruiser. You've now seen still a bruiser, but with a little more refined technique, and it's throwing you off your game. You need to resettle yourself. You need to pull yourself in, Grog. However, in that moment of thinking, he swings at you with a double pummel towards the torso. That is a natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
That is going to be a 13.
Oh, miss.
This is yours, I believe.
And
that's going to be a 9. Or, sorry, a 10.
Okay.
So, first one hits, second one misses. Whack! The first one comes through and smacks you right in the center of the stomach with a double hit. That's, oof. That is 14 points of damage.
I would like to use my stone's endurance to...
Go for it.
Okay.
At that point, as the punch hits your stomach, you flex, feeling the strength of the mountain kind of fill your body. Your ancestral roots of your stone giant brethren fill your form.
That's 16.
16. As the fist poof, finds the side of your stomach, the iron-like form that is your torso just stops his fist in its place. You see him kind of pull away, shaking his hand. As he shakes away, he brings up his other hand to backhand you. You just duck out of the way. He swings with a kick around with the momentum, and you just catch it in the middle of the air. So we're going to start your turn with you now holding his leg up by the side of your head.
Oh, fantastic. I'll keep that leg up in the air.
Break it off like a chicken!
I'll move it over to my shoulder.
Break it off like a
Take
chicken!
both of my hands up and bring it down on top of his kneecap, hyper-flexing the leg.
All right, go ahead and roll for attack on this.
That's better. 26.
Yeah!
Yes! That's 8.
8 damage, all right.
Maybe we can start a chant for inspiration.
Yeah, can we?
Alrighty, so that's your first attack.
That was my first.
Inspiration check.
You put down the knee. A normal human's leg would have hyperextended, but the sheer size of muscle in this is comparable to your own, and you feel it definitely hurt, and there is like a yelp out in pain, but it's not enough to fully pop the leg back.
What's the matter, ballerina? I thought you should be stretched out and ready for this. And I reach back and I drive my fist into his nutsack.
Roll the second attack.
Not punch.
That's advantage.
25.
25 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Oh my god, a grog.
damage!
8. My first 8.
Nice.
That should
Second 8 actually. You've already rolled.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm gonna argue that should be doubled because there's two
You're
balls.
adding all your bonuses.
Yeah, I'm adding everything I have.
Kern is one of those individuals
I'm
that has had
allowed
his
to.
nuts kicked enough times in his life
Sure.
to know the pain well
Fair.
and be prepared for it.
Fair.
So as you come down, whack, slam it right into you hear this this almost wolf-like screeching howl as Kern's head lifts up in severe pain. His hands come down and grasp your wrist and is now holding it, trying to pull it away from his midsection. He's in a very bad situation right now.
With that last one, can I take my my right leg and in an effort to shoot for that same knee I've been kicking at, aim for the knee or sweep his feet?
Sure, go for it.
That'll miss. It's a 13.
13. As you pull back to sweep, Kern uses this advantage to bring up the other leg that you haven't hit, plant it right on your shoulder and neck area, and then push off your body. As you sweep underneath, he leaps backward, flipping in the air, poof, lands on both of his, kind of clutching the inside of his groin area, like shaking off the pain through the anger. So he leaps back to here.
As that's happening, we all start a chant. Grog! 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 Grog!
As they're chanting, I'm starting to sing amid the chant. It's the eye of the Goliath, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of that asshole. And I'm trying to send inspiration to him.
With that, you hear through the fury, through the anger, that the chant, your real name, not Philip now, your real name, reclaimed in the center of this approving point in the center of the oldest known city to civilization under the visual guidance of the god of strength and valor. And through all that, you hear the gentle hymn, Scanlan's voice cut through all that and come to you with a beat, a rhythmic beat that drives you forward. Go ahead and take a D10 inspiration.
Where are those 10s? There we go. Okay.
Now Kern, having landed on his feet, rushes forward towards you, and first using his bonus action is going to go ahead and reach down for a very deep uppercut. It looks like he's coming in for a left, and then sweeps down to try and take you from underneath, breaking through your defense. That is going to be a 20.
That hits.
You take 10 points of damage.
Jesus.
Right to the chin from underneath. For the bonus action, Kern then comes back, And you used to like an unleashed flurry. Kern, however, comes back into a fully defensive position, riding his hands and leg on kind of a backward stance, and is just looking at you, ready for you to come. Is using his action to go into a dodge. It's now your turn.
Oh, wait, so he gets some sort of advantage?
All attacks against him have disadvantage this next turn.
Oh, come on!
Wait, against him?
Really big bang!
He meant no.
Wait, how do you do
Advantage,
that?
because balls.
Nope.
Damn it.
Yeah, the balls doesn't give like
No,
advantage.
he has tough nuts. Never mind.
Oh, he has tough nuts.
He has the feat toughness, which I think really resists any sort of ball damage at this point.
Tough nuts. That's what toughness. That's what toughness.
In an effort to keep my distance, I run towards him. I jump up in the air and throw one thrust kick towards the side, right towards his chest, just to see what his defense will do.
Go for it. With a disadvantage, so roll twice.
Oh, God! Mother bitch!
Well, that one was a natural 20, but it's 19.
19. Total 19?
Total 19.
That just barely hits.
Yeah! Can I add the inspiration to the... No, just to the roll, right?
Just to the roll, not to the damage.
That is an 8.
An 8. All right. So
because a half of 3 is 1.5. We're rounding up.
rounding out. Yeah.
Okay,
So 3 and 4 is a 2 considered. And
Right. So 8. Yeah.
Alrighty. All right. So you rush up, whacks him, and he puts the defense out and tries desperately to push to the side. However, his defense is imperfect. You can see he's still new to this fighting style, and you still manage to push through sheer force and slam him into the side of his torso from the impact. You can follow up.
I leap forward again and try and throw my thumbs into his eyes.
Okay, you're going for the blind again. And roll for attack on this with a disadvantage.
21. Oh. 15.
15.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
you're
no,
gonna
oh! This is the thing! Oh, no, if you want to use it.
Yeah, that's a 22!
22. So you rush forward to grab. So you have hold of his head now. There's no damage to this round, but you're enabling yourself now for the rest of the round to attempt to push into his eyes.
See the Matrix now,
So there's
bitch!
no damage on this one. You grab the side of his head and you see like his eyes kind of open with this like look of fear
Open
and
them wide.
unexpected ferocity from you. Go ahead and make an athletics check now.
Oh,
Come
God,
on,
oh,
come on,
God,
come
oh,
on.
Big money.
Yeah.
24.
24, he rolled a 19. So go ahead and do damage on this. Just go ahead and roll for damage.
With the 4?
Mm-hmm.
The 6.
6 already. All right.
Didn't count 'cause
So
they rolled
as you grab hold of his head, you grin as your thumbs push into his eyes. He yells out in pain, and before you can damage the eyes permanently, he slaps off of your hands so hard with such an intense process that you can't help but feel your actual force be blown back. However, he's clutching the side of his face, and for the next round, he is blinded.
Can I move?
You can move as well.
I just back straight up.
Back at
You're
swinging.
right again.
He currently doesn't threaten you because he's blinded, so you can rush past him without getting an attack of opportunity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll move along the wall to his left side.
Over here?
Yes.
To there?
Yes.
Okay.
Like next
Back
to him or
up,
away from
back
him?
up.
But back up just a little bit.
Oh, you want to stay
Right
there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Laser
gotcha.
pointers? Do you guys have laser pointers?
I don't.
All right,
I'll try
so as you dodge off to the side, Kern's grabbing his face and kind of takes a moment to
Oh,
listen.
Jesus.
Here's your footsteps along the side. As you know, there's no stealth to this. There's his footprint.
Right.
However, Kern does attempt to sidestep over. Is going to attempt to make 3 strikes at you with a disadvantage on all of them
Okay.
because he's currently blinded.
Right, you seem to be rolling pretty high. You could use the dice that I threw.
And rolls against him have advantage as well. All right, so attacks against you is going to be that is going to be a 14.
Misses.
Natural 20 or an 8. So it'll be a 16.
Okay, misses.
Misses. 19 and a 19. Third one does hit. So, wide punches forward. You just like they're a foot away from you. You just kind of chuckle, getting out of the way. And as you chuckle, he hears that for a moment his mind clarifies, even though his eyes are closed with a trickle of blood off the side of one of the eye. He immediately goes into a faster than you expected midsection punch that whack smacks you right in the middle of your laughing stomach. Because you're laughing, there is that tension, but it wasn't flex prepared for an actual impact from a fist. And you take 7 points of damage from the hit to your abdomen.
All right.
It is your turn. He's still blinded, so you have advantage on all these attacks.
Yeah!
Right.
You reel from the hit to your midsection.
I want to move. No, I'll stay right where I am. Can I reach forward, grab his head and his shoulder, and go in for a bite attack at his neck?
You certainly can.
God.
Aiming for the jugular.
That's what he needs to do.
23.
23 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
God.
8.
Nice.
You're sure you're adding that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
6.
but this
is halved. This is halved.
Are you sure? I thought you were
It's-
both raging. There's no halves.
No, we have to
It's
die.
negated.
It is? It's the
Is
die.
that true?
Yeah, we have to die.
Both of them are half damage because of their raging. So we're considering them both to not count that. So the fight.
So
they're not counting the half.
he shouldn't be having his die.
Well, no. The die halving is the natural damage of a
Yes.
punch is 1d2.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's half of a d4.
Okay.
got it. Sorry.
Except for Kern, who's doing a full d4 on his punches.
Yeah,
for
because
some
he's-
reason.
Got some money on this. I
Trinity,
gotta make
he's
sure it's
wearing
going.
leather
right.
and
Right. All right. So as you rush in, you grab. As he puts out a hand to try and punch just instinctively as you rush towards, his eyes still kind of coated in his own blood. You push it to the side, reach in and grab the back of his shoulder, and Grog bite into the side. It's like biting into a tree trunk. His skin is so thick.
I eat bar stools for dinner.
You do, actually.
I do.
And the taste is similar. Your teeth grind in and you find yourself tearing into probably what would be the toughest steak you've ever tried to. You get about a quarter to a half an inch in with your teeth, definitely taking a chunk and tearing out what you can, but just based on the general hardiness of his half-orc structure, you don't get to a jugular or any major vein, but you do leave a gash that leaves a significant mark on his body.
Right.
That's the first attack.
I pull back from the bite and I whisper into his ear, I was wondering what was gonna break first, your spirit or your body. And I would like to try and pick him up over my head and bring him down on my knee, Bane style.
Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead and make an athletics check with advantage because
The team of
Okay,
writers.
that's 25.
25.
Do I need to roll an advantage to see if I get a 20?
Sure, go for it.
Oh, it's a 19! It was so close, 26!
So you reach forward and scoop him up, lifting him over your head. He's trying to resist it, but in his unable to see state, he just cannot give. There's no way he can possibly resist this. You lift him up over the top, down onto the knee. Go ahead and roll damage. I will consider this both your two final attacks, but this attack damage is doubled modifier included.
7, so 14.
Whoa.
14 points of damage on this attack.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's a.
All right. As part of this,
Oh no.
he
He's
is.
gonna pull some shit.
No, he's reaching.
He's about to pull some shit.
Matt reaching for things is never
I'm
good.
gonna go ahead and make a Constitution check on his end. The DC is gonna be the damage dealt. So he's gonna try and essentially resist the effect of this. He has a disadvantage because he's blinded. That is a 3. 18 and a 3. However, he still has a really high Constitution, and it's still plus 9 to that. That's 12 is not enough to beat the 14. So, for the purposes of this round, Kern is currently on the ground stunned. He loses an entire round of combat.
Oh, make me my money.
No longer blinded, but Kern is currently reaching towards this back where there's just shooting pain throughout his entire nervous system from the impact. You have another round to go.
I reach up with my fingernails and I carve these scrapes down my face, and I leap up with both feet and I jump down on his head.
God, that's brutal.
It's so brutal.
All right, go ahead and roll. Attacks have advantage on him because he's stunned.
Oh my god, oh my god.
That's better. 23.
23 hits.
Yes, he's doing very well.
You know what?
He's doing good.
Just 3 of them.
Rage stomping on him. Okay, 3 attacks.
Rage curb stomping.
20.
20 hits.
You're right, this is so much more exciting when you met.
15.
15.
It's like you have a stick.
So,
What's going on?
The first, you leap up in the air, both feet down, wham, right into the shoulder inside of the ribcage. You hear a snap as at least 2 ribs give way under the side, the sheer weight and force of your left foot. You leap up again, bring down both feet a second time. One finds purchase in the ground next to him, while the second one hits him right in kind of the lower abdomen, kind of pelvis region. Whack! With this second one, you hear this scream as the air is nearly knocked out of Kern. The third one, you reach up, this time just seeing seething rage. You can feel the actual foam at the corners of your mouth dripping down the sides of your chin. As you bring your leg up again to stomp a third time, this time Kern rolls out of the way and manages to just avoid the third slam. What's the total damage on that?
Oh, did I roll?
No.
You're
First one,
excited.
second one.
Okay. It's good. 8.
8.
And
Yep,
8.
Yep.
Damn. Okay, that is...
Come on.
Turn
Alright,
him
cool.
into a stain.
All right, Kern, no longer stunned, now gets up, it's like, holding the back of his side.
You suck, Kern!
You also smell!
Kind of glances up for a moment at you. Sees you raising your fist and gives a grin. Looks back towards you and lunges towards you now. It's going to attempt to grapple at you. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
That's a 1.
Do you get an advantage at all?
Nope, no longer blind, no longer stunned.
Shit.
You are considered currently grappled. All right. So this for the action there, as a bonus action, is going to rear back, open his mouth, and attempt to bite towards your face.
No!
He's Mike Tyson.
Leave it intact.
Correct. Does have. That is a 21.
That is.
You take 10 points of damage, and you feel teeth grasp onto the.
No!
That is a sickening, sharp, burning sensation. Your upper lip is now torn from the front of your face. As you see Kern reel back, a streak of blood spilling off in the arc as his head pulls back, a terrible grin creeping across his smile. As you now see this dull gray-colored, Grog flesh-tone piece of skin dangling bloodily from his mouth.
It's okay, Pyken!
We can fix it!
Never mind.
We can fix it!
Your turn. You're currently grappled, so you can't move.
So I would like to attempt to break the grapple.
Okay. So make an athletics check.
Okay. That is 21.
You rolled a 4, yeah. So you break from the grapple.
Okay, great.
You still have your bonus action.
Both of my bonus actions or all 3?
Actually, break from the grapple. Let me double check. Just to be sure.
And popcorn.
We
You
can
can use this
sew
action.
it
Yeah,
back
it's your
on.
action.
We
You
can
still
sew
have
it
your
back
bonus
on.
action.
Your lip will be
We should
fine.
collect
I
it
don't
afterwards.
care. I blow through my newly lipless found mouth. And I run up and I throw my face into his.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for your headbutt.
That's 17.
17 misses. As you dodge forward, Kern actually spits it towards you, and it hits you in the face. And for a second, it just completely throws you off. Your head still goes forward. Kern, however, as you look down, Kern is already swished beneath you. The speed is unexpected. Is now beneath you looking up and grabs the chunk of the lip that he had taken and comes up for a full round of attacks against you.
Wait, that was just my one attack.
Oh, so that's right. You're still no. You used your action to
Oh, that's
break
right,
the
that's right,
grapple
that's right.
and your third attack. So you're still grappled, so you can't move. So this is his turn.
I broke the grapple.
He broke the grapple.
Oh, you did break the grapple. Yeah. So yeah. So you can still move if you wanted to.
No, I'll stay there.
Okay. So that is a 23.
Hit.
23.
Fuck you!
And a 12. So grabs the lip in one hand, reaches up, and then slam uppercuts you from underneath. The first hit, that is 7 points of damage.
Okay.
The next one, however, is 8 points of damage. Swings up and actually haymakers you to the side with the hand still holding the chunk of your lip in it across the side of your face. And is going to attempt to do a backwards leaping kind of flip kick.
Oh, Jesus, Chun-Li.
However, because Kern is not as practiced at this and is kind of overextending, you see it telegraphed far too in advance and you duck out of the way. It whiffs past. Kern loses his balance for a minute and in an embarrassing moment almost falls over from his own strike and manages to catch himself and is like, nobody saw that, right? That ends Kern's turn.
I saw that guy!
I reach forward, throw that leg towards the right knee again, still working on the same spot.
Okay.
Miss.
All right. Still have 2 more strikes.
Yes.
That's a 21.
21 hits.
And I miss.
Okay.
It's gonna be a
So
great
you rush forward with your leg. Woof. He manages to duck out of the way, bringing his knee up to the side. Comes down to try and get ready for the next attack. However, you already used that inertia, the kick, to bring your fist down. Whack! Right across the front of his face. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's an 8.
8. All right. Okay, and the third strike, you come up to follow that up with a full combo, at which point, however, he reaches out, grabs the sides of your wrist, both of his hands,
man.
and brings
Always
it down
roll
to where you're now face to face again, kind of left at his mercy at this point. You're off balance and led towards him. As Kern's turn, Kern is going to reach back and attempt to headbutt you in the front. That is a 21.
Hits.
That is a 11.
Misses.
And that is going to be a 22.
That hits.
Just whack! Headbutts you right square in the face. You reel back from it. He goes to headbutt again. This time you duck out of the way. However, at that point, he pulls you closer in towards him, still holding your wrist to his side, and headbutts you a third time. So the first headbutt does 9 points of damage.
Okay.
And the other one does 7 points of damage.
Okay.
Whack! Whoosh! Whack! Pulling you in, this time releasing you from the sheer impact, pushing you back onto your feet. It's your go.
Oh, am I back to the wall?
You're pretty close to the wall, yeah.
I'd like to take a step back, put my back foot on the wall, and then push off into the air with a huge overhand right.
Nice, okay. Pushing off in the air, the arc coming down with the fist.
It's a 22.
22 hits.
For 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Alrighty.
And then I say, you were supposed to be the only lipless one, and I soccer ball the shit out of those dimes between his legs. Nice. 25.
25
Yeah,
definitely
baby.
hits.
Come on, come on, come on.
That is 7.
Alrighty.
And then
Whack! With another screeching, oh! Your
Now
foot
he's a disadvantage.
immediately cracks right.
Double hit.
You've now repeatedly pummeled him into his man bits. And you can see there is a dark stain in this trouser that you pull your foot back, where you've definitely drawn blood in his nether regions.
Oh, Corn!
He's got a bloody cock.
That is painful.
Oh, is he standing? Is he bent over?
He's standing partially bent forward, kind of clutching towards the severe pain in his nether regions.
Cool. Did you lose something? No, you lose it now. I do it again.
All right.
19.
19 just barely hits.
Yeah! 8.
8 already.
Thank you, Percy.
Yes, Percy died. Percy died.
Percy dies.
Whack! A third hit. This time, another howl in pain. Kern reaches down and clasps his hands once again, kind of in the same capture maneuver with your fist onto your ankle, and you can see the face goes from pain. His eyes flash open with a blood-seething orc rage. Half orc this may be. In this moment, Kern's gone full orc.
Okay.
And you can see on his turn, Kern is going to pulling your leg forward towards you. You feel yourself pulled off balance and the momentum pulling you towards him as he unleashes another flurry of blows.
As he
against you.
does, I shout out from the audience using my cutting words.
What do you shout?
Oh, Kern, do you need some dick? Because I gave some to your mom last night.
Go ahead and roll a d10 and I'll distract you from this attack.
D10?
Yeah, roll a d10 and...
That was a burn. That was a burn.
Fuck, only 3!
Oh,
That's okay. So his roll was a 21. That brings it down to an 18. What's your armor class?
It's 18.
18, so it still hits. Still, that was awesome. You can see there's a momentary distraction as Kern glances over for a second angrily, but still follows through with the first hit. This one clocking you straight in the face, sending your head back in severe pain. You take, that is 10 points of damage.
Yep.
You fall backward, the force of the blow sending you kind of onto your heels. Second strike comes in at a 15. I believe that misses.
Oh, that misses, yes,
you.
sir.
That's a natural 20. That puts it at 12 points of damage on the third strike.
Okay.
As Kern comes forward, a second punch just swings over your head as you're still reeled back. The third one, he runs forward towards you as you're pushed a few feet away and knees you right straight to the solar plexus. The impact causing the air to escape your lungs. And for a brief moment, you're having to pull the air back in. It's your turn.
Right.
So is that? Oh.
No,
What?
Oh. I was gonna say if we get another chant going.
Grog!
Grog! Chant.
Grog!
Cover me.
Grog! Grog! Grog!
I cast healing word on Grog.
Grog.
All right, I'm gonna ask you to do a sleight of hand.
Okay.
This.
Do I get advantage because we're all chanting together?
No.
Okay.
What if I shot off a prestidigitation firework?
No.
Okay.
To help me out?
So go
Be
ahead and make
like
a roll.
a team effort?
No.
No? Alright.
Doing this now.
Deck of
Sleight of
illusions.
hand.
No.
Oh, that's good. That's a 16. 18 total.
As you begin casting,
Oh, shit.
one of the Bastions grabs your wrist and pulls you into his face and says,
I'm sorry, Missy. I'm not understanding you're cheating.
No.
She
That's just the language of
from-
my people.
She's foreign. She
Yes,
doesn't know it.
I'm
go ahead and
foreign.
make a deception roll.
Oh god.
It would be with disadvantage, but because Tiberius is helping you, we're just gonna make it a straight roll.
Oh.
And
Deception.
Deception.
Have a
11 total, because charisma.
The Bastion says,
You're coming with me.
I see this
Bitch,
happening.
why do I always get busted?
You can't ever buy beer and not get busted.
I'm gonna interrupt him real quick.
Scanlan was gonna interrupt first, and then we'll get to you.
I want to be like, excuse me, and wait. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I said I see this happening. I go over and I use friends.
No.
To cast-
No. I saw.
Okay, as you're about to walk over, Tiberius puts his hand down and goes, No!
Excuse me. I pull out 10 gold coins. That's all I actually had because I had 10 left. I pull out 10 gold, and I give it. I was like, excuse, I'm sorry. This is a misunderstanding. She's foreign and she's royalty. Please, I'm from Draconia and she's a druid. Blah, blah, blah. I see all this shit really quick, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
The other-loving unicorn rainbow
Very sorry.
fluffer.
Please.
Make a deception check with disadvantage.
Oh god.
Already, because he's already
All this stuff happening
pissed
while
off
you're
at this.
dying. Kern is dying.
What was it? What
rolled
was
a
it?
12 and a 13.
Deception? So that's 22 and 21.
Oh.
Okay. The Bastion glares at you, looks over at one of the nearby Bastions.
Here you go.
You see two manacles clink down on your wrists from another Bastion to your left. And the Bastion's holding both says, apparently she's got people helping her out. Come on, we're dragging her off. You both are being pulled away.
As they're doing that, I'm like, you said dragon. I'm half dragon.
So you guys are being dragged away from the
Okay.
Crucible.
Great.
Rog,
Shit.
It's my turn.
it is your
I come
I'm
back
following them
from that
quietly.
knee to the
I
solar
guess have fun,
plexus.
root for Grog for us!
I reach up and grab the back of his head, and I just drive my elbow straight into his chin.
Go for it.
25.
25 does hit.
Yes! 8.
Alrighty.
As it carries through, as it carries through his chin, I'd like to come back with a back elbow, same spot, boom.
Alrighty, roll for attack on that.
16.
No. Whoosh, parries it to the side after the first impact, kind of sets his jaw off to the side again, snaps it back into place.
Last one.
Last one.
Since I'm standing and I probably whiffed, I see that knee that I've been working on. I throw my heel out and just try and pop it in.
Okay.
Yes. 27.
27 does hit. Go and roll damage.
8.
8. All right. You go forward and pop! Your foot finds the side of the knee, and the knee, this time, buckles under the weight. Off to the side. Kern falls onto the one knee, puts both hands out in the ground, and coughs up the sputtering puddle of blood that then spills out in the ground. Kern looks like that blow is about to knock Kern over to the side, but Kern sits there and tenses his muscles. His head whips up at you, and that orcish glare, that sheer focus of fury that you saw once before, is holding him on the edge.
This is it?
Kern looks up at you.
No. This is my town!
And leaps up at you with a flurry of an extremely desperate half-orc. First strike comes at you. That is a 22 to hit.
Hits.
That is a 27 to hit.
Hits.
19. And natural 20.
Oh my god. They all
First strike is 10 points of damage.
10 points, okay.
Next one is 8 points of damage.
Okay.
Last one, which is the... Ooh, okay. That's 8, 6, 14 points of damage.
Right, okay.
What are you at?
So that puts me at negative 13. I use my relentless rage.
Oh! What is that? What is that? What is that?
Little boy's growing up!
Oh my
My
god.
little boy's growing up! So Grog has been put to
It's
negative
fucking gritty.
as the orc has pummeled you, and you feel and with a final resounding crack, the knee comes up, slamming you into your chin. You feel your body begin to fade from view, your vision begin to tunnel to black.
I just won 100 gold!
200!
Yeah. At that point, you feel that seething anger, that rage, that medallion that was given to you, the section of lip that is now missing from your face. Let me go to see what this ability does real fast.
No, it's cool now.
This rage.
I mean, I'm not there.
All right.
We're arrested.
Make a Constitution saving throw right now.
I get busted every time.
21.
21. You instead dropped to 1 hit point.
1 hit point.
Yes.
You know, all of a sudden the rage pulls you through, and your whole body snaps up into place again. And you can see Kern before you has this grin on his face, like he's just watched victory come to him, and then is torn away. His eyes open, and that half-orcish rage suddenly fades for a second as you see, for the first time, deep fear take the heart of your combatant. Take your turn.
I look at my arms.
Oh my god!
I look at him.
Grog.
I spit blood into the sand and I say, well, well, where have I seen this happen before? Time's up. And I run forward and in a massive arcing uppercut, I drive my fist under his jaw with everything I have.
Go ahead and roll for damage.
Oh, damage?
Roll for attack.
Okay. Oh, shit. 18?
18. As you rush forward, he, through the fear, still brings his hand up and slaps the first hit out of the way. Second attack.
I look down and I say, very well. Respect. And I take my elbow and I drive it into his temple.
Roll for second attack.
15.
15. The second one brings back and parries it to the side.
From the stands, I
See, like,
from the stands.
I lift up my shirt and I say, I love you, Grog!
Oh my god, it's her tits! It's her tits!
Don't distract!
I'm not here!
Through the fury of your rage,
She just showed her tits! That's inspiring!
at this moment, if that were to distract Grog, I'm afraid Grog would drop his rage.
Don't.
Never mind! I put my shirt
However,
Do it for
however,
Kern. Do
the
it for
entire
Kern.
other side of the crucible right now is going, "Ah!" And they all burst into cheers.
Damn it, and I'm not there!
So I missed the uppercut.
Vax, by the way, is standing behind you and going, sister! And is like pulling your shirt down for you and is like desperately trying to.
I've missed the uppercut.
Miss the elbow.
Can I sing from the audience?
At this, not right now.
all
This is
this roll.
the
It's all
middle.
this roll.
This is the middle of his turn.
Oh god!
You can
I'll
after
lower
this,
my
but this is the
hand.
middle of his turn.
And I just bring him down.
All right, big old
Last
hammer
one.
blow. Roll for it.
Come on.
I don't want to see. I don't want to hear.
13.
13. Kern now instinctively slaps it out of your way, and you can see the fear begin to fade, and for a second looks at you and sees truly how close on the edge you are.
You've proven yourself this day, but there is only one champion of the Crucible.
You get your up, Scanlan, now.
Yeah, I was going to sing to him to inspire. I guess I can still try.
Yeah, go for it. What do you want to sing?
I sing, with your arms and your fists and your legs and your wrists. It's in your head, you are fighting. That's all I got.
D10 inspiration die to you, Grog, in this pinnacle moment. So hold on to that D10.
Okay.
All right.
Fuck!
This is so
Kern, now intensely scared, is using his action to go into his dodge maneuver. It's like on the edge, you can see like one eye is swollen shut and is like goes into the stance to defend himself. However, as his bonus action, all of a sudden takes 2 steps forward and almost Bruce Lee 1 inch punches to your torso. That is a 9 plus 8, 17.
Misses.
Misses. Goes to punch. However, the short distance, while the speed is extreme, misjudge the distance and it stops an inch before your chest, and you kind of look down at it, just barely stopping before it finds your chest. Looks up at you.
Come at me.
He just come at me, bro'd you.
That's what he's trying to do. Stunning strike.
Oh, you got it.
Is he in defense?
Is in dodge mode, yeah.
He's in dodge, so it's a disadvantage?
So all of your attacks are disadvantaged.
Oh my god.
I want to leap at him and try and grab him around the waist.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Take him down, take him down.
I get okay. No.
No, do what you want. Do what you want.
Do what you want, Grog. Do what you want. What are you doing?
Alright, fine, fuck it, I just like, with desperation that this might fall away, I just throw my Goliath fist at him.
Alright, so first punch is with disadvantage.
Yes.
17.
Plus 10.
22!
22. Roll damage.
Come on.
8!
How do you want to do this? R.I.P. ears, everyone.
Sorry.
Clutch Scanlan inspiration. Grog, how do you want to do this?
As the fist connects and he starts to wobble, I reach over, I stand above him and grab around his waist with his back facing towards me. I lift him up over my head so that his head gets to come up and look at the crowd one last time before sending him straight back onto his shoulder blades and neck and smashing him into the earth.
With a resounding slam, Kern's body impacts into the stone floor of the crucible. A cloud of dirt and dust around. Rocks break off and tumble down the side of the walls of the crucible as the crowd has to stop himself from falling in from the sheer impact of the tremor that you've left slamming Kern. You can see everyone kind of fall silent. The crowd cheers all come to a sudden halt. The dust settles. As you can see nothing at the base of the crucible. As the cloud slowly comes to rest, you see there, broken and laid out on the ground, is an unconscious, bloodied, and ruined Kern as Grog steps forward, head hunched beneath his billowing shoulders, fists clenched in anger, victorious in the center of the crucible.
I put my foot on his chest and in my best King Kong go.
At which point the crowd raises into shouting cheers, claps. At which point the cheers.
Yes, you did.
No.
I'm not there. We're not there.
None of us remember that at all.
The bookie screams out,
We have now a new champion of the Crucible! Not Philip, but Grog, the victorious!
You hear loud boos, you hear curses shouted, you see people shouting off, throwing emptied coin purses off to the side, different language. It's a whole cacophony of cheers and curses, and then all of them fall suddenly quiet.
Oh.
The whole crowd turns over, and to the edge of the crucible, you see standing over. Let me bring this down here for a moment of tension. Standing over to the edge, a hood is thrown back on a figure that's been watching the entire fight. You notice this figure, as the hood is thrown back, an older human man in his mid to late 60s, with tough reddish tanned skin, short but stocky, receding gray hairline with a long, coarse gray beard that tumbles to his belt line. He wears what looks like ceremonial robes of red and gold, simple wooden sandals, and a dark brown necklace of large 2-inch round beads that adorn the shoulders and neck area. His body is stout and ripped with muscle, trained over a lifetime of martial prowess and careful honing. His arms are crossed as he looks down at the crucible, down at you, Grog. Gives a nod and a smile, turns around, and walks away from the crowd, quietly, as everyone just kind of silently takes in this momentary experience. A few seconds pass, and then the crowd continues cheering once again.
Kern's a pussy!
The clerics now come climbing down to the center of the crucible to retrieve the unconscious and bleeding out body of Kern, administering heals immediately to make sure he doesn't actually slip away from everyone.
I run over and grab my lip and pick it up and go, just between you and me, is there anything we can do with this?
One of the clerics looks at us again. Hold it there for a moment, and reaches out and administers a 5th level Cure Wounds. To making a medicine check to see how. Yeah, that's a 16. You go ahead and heal. That's 6. Shitty rolls. 10. Actually, we'll just do that one there. So that's you heal 22 hit points.
Okay.
But you feel your lip fuse, and while it might leave a very small scar, it is in one piece. You might want to be careful about spitting or doing anything too heavy with it over the next week or so, for fear of jettisoning it from the front of your face accidentally.
Right,
Far too stressful.
or growing a beard on it. Oh, that's all I want to let you know.
If you grow enough beard, you can knit it together to hold it in place.
You make your way up the.
Actually sweating.
Yeah, no, I am too.
You make your way up the rope ladder to the top of the crucibles. The crowd, some folks come up and they cheer and like grab your hand and shake it. Thank you, I believed you'd do this. Kern's been standing there too long. It's about time he got taken down. And he gets pushed away. Another person, a young guy you see now, 16, scrawny but excited, says, "You're my new hero. Oh my God. Grog, where'd you learn to train? Can I train with you?
Grog's not here right now. This is Philip. If you'd like to leave a message, come back another time. Gotta go, bye." I walk away. I find Scanlan in the crowd, and I reach out and shake his hand. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Scanlan, are you all right? You look poorer somehow.
Oh,
Have you lost money? You look like you've lost money. Right, especially in the face.
it was worth it.
I heard your voices cutting through the crowd. Where are Tiberius and
I'm gonna
Keylith?
use my earring right now.
I don't know.
They got arrested. I figured we'd deal
Grog,
with
we
that.
got arrested while you were fighting. Just so you know.
You guys, by the way, right now are currently brought to a small holding facility not that far from the Crucible, where you've been set down onto a bench, both manacled, and left while the one bastion that originally found you is currently keeping watch. The
Outside?
other one, out of vision from you guys. You don't see this. They're just missing from the crowd.
Grog,
It, like, just-
before we go deal
it's
with our
because
friends,
It looked like you were doing a spell. Was
If I may.
seeing things.
that man fought a brave fight. I feel you should go make amends with him. It was a respectable battle. You won't feel good about yourself unless you do.
At which point the bookie hands a sack of gold right into your hand.
Well fought, new champion!
And hands it to you.
Fuck that shit. I was about to. Chaotic neutral, sorry.
Never mind.
I was ready.
And that, kids, is chaotic neutral.
At the 3-to-1 odds, that sack of gold you get back contains 5,452
Yes.
gold pieces.
You know what's so cool about that, Grog?
What's
Is that you
our
said you were
return out
gonna
of
pay
chaos?
back the gold that you lost me in the first fight.
I did, and I pay it back happily as I look at her
You're not
dragon
doing it.
eyes of money hoarding.
Okay, so you go ahead and work out that payback to
All
her.
right.
I'm gonna use the earring real quick again.
He owes
Whenever
me
you're
money
free,
too.
Grog.
And handing money to Vex has sobered me up a little bit. I do walk over to Kern the Hammer and extend a hand and say, "Well fought, brother."
Kern's arms are currently draped over to the clerics that have pulled him out of the crucible. Face broken, blood streaked down one side of his face. Is like stepping with one foot and dragging the toes, and the other is brought to turn around to face you by the two clerics and looks at you as you extend your hand. Looks over at you, one eye kind of swollen shut, the eye they're glaring at you, bloodshot and angry. You see the teeth are gritted and kind of grinding beneath his still busted and missing upper lip.
Well fought, Goliath.
And he brings one hand around one of the clerics and takes you in a Beastmaster.
Yes!
Strength
and honor!
Shake.
Dagger.
However, in the strength, you can see there's no strength left. Like it's barely there. Takes his hand back and it kind of hangs loosely to one side. He looks at you and says,
I'm proud to have finally found my match. When I recover, I'm gonna find you. And I'm gonna want that championship back.
When the time comes for a rematch, I'll be here.
Good. Where can I find you, Grog?
Oh, shit.
Oh, I hear. Oh, I don't hear this.
You're not there.
Yeah, just
Tell him.
If I'm not here at the Crucible, because I don't think you need an audience for glory, you can always find me in Emon at Castle Grayskull.
Grayskull Keep.
that's a
Grayskull Keep!
It's a real place.
Good luck with your dick, by the way. Sorry about that.
he looks over at you.
It's a real place. We probably.
And you see for a minute he had forgotten about that in this kind of exchange of honor, and suddenly the pain resurges and starts whimpering. Spits off to the side this giant bloody loogie that slaps onto the side of one of the clerics who's like, oh, God. Starts wiping it from the outside of his tunic. Looks back at you.
Grayskull. So be it. Oh.
And hobbles away through a series of painful whimpers and whines. Percy, the bookie collects you. You bid at 500 at a 3-to-1. That is a 4 times return. You make 2,000 gold total off of that exchange.
I've made 20 gold.
Hold on.
You're in jail. You made nothing.
You haven't made anything yet. You're arrested.
I'm arrested.
So I'm gonna use the earring and Grog, if you want to use
2,400 to you, Vex.
Fuck yeah!
I'm here to collect my winnings, please.
The Bastion is gonna.
Then you would owe me 300 gold.
No. I bet on Grog, if you remember correctly.
No, I have it here in my ledger that you bet against
Oh,
your
he would
friend
never do
Grog.
that. I believe you're mistaken, actually.
That must be a typo. I bet on Grog. Don't you remember? What?
Are you casting something, or are you?
I'm just doing this.
Okay. Go ahead and make a deception roll.
I don't understand.
Can I back him up? Because can he roll? Can I?
I'm gonna leave this as.
Damn.
Nope.
What'd you roll?
2. So, well, wait. Plus, what is this? Deception?
It's deception.
Persuasion? What is
Deception.
It should
deception?
be deception because you were lying, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's 15 though.
15.
It's not good.
He gives you a look and goes,
No, you did not.
I gotta work on this.
and he whips around, takes his cloak kind of like dismissively
Yeah.
putting you out of the conversation, and walks back towards the Bellows Respite Inn.
Can I now use the damn ring?
You can now.
Okay. Grog, could you use your clout to get us out of holding? I don't know where we actually
You're in
are.
holding. Yeah, I'm sure I'm a pretty big deal.
What's going on? Wait, what's going on? You were arrested? Why?
Because Keylith tried to do something and I tried to talk her out of it and it didn't work out and we're now in holding. It's fine.
Bullshit! You
What?
tried to
What?
You tried to talk out what?
I mean, I tried to help her
go
out.
get them.
Tried to help her out of it.
Tiberius, what can
Help
you
her out of it. Let's
what
talk
can
about
you
it.
see around you?
A god. Looking
Are
at
you
me like
inside, outside?
Can I
You're
track
on
them?
a
I
bench,
figure I
Grog.
can track.
Go ahead and make a survival
draconian
check.
Yeah, we'll
Survival
footprints.
check?
I'm sure if you ask the person who paid
We're
for it.
sitting on a bench.
If someone were to be an idiot, where would you take them to hold them while other people decided just how
16.
much of an idiot
Because
they
you
were?
know their tracks, their footprints, I would have put it at disadvantage because you know this roll. I'm going to cancel that out. At a 16, you look around and you can see there is a track of 2 people with their feet being dragged behind by 2 of their heavy footprints by heavily armored individuals that lead. There are 3 buildings off to the side, and you can see there is what looks to be a small station for holding and or just a general bastion kind of satellite station within this portion of the Braving Grounds.
Can we go over and knock, knock, knock?
You knock, knock, knock. A few seconds pass, and the door kind of slides open a little bit. And from the inside, you can see a partially scarred against one cheek, kind of late 30s, early 40s gentleman who looks square-jawed and definitely trained in some semblance of looking gruff and angry. He says,
Can I help you?
Hi, yes, I'm looking for a couple of people. They're actually mental patients, and they've gotten loose.
Vex, here we are. Hello.
Oh, that's them. Yes. I'm afraid.
These 2 cheaters over here, these are the ones you're looking for.
Cheaters. Well, that makes sense. They don't understand normal social rules.
I'm from Draconia.
And I'm also not from here.
You see what I'm
You know where
talking
you're
about.
from, you're right.
I know
go ahead and make a deception check.
Okay.
Just say where you're from. It's easy.
What should I do?
It's
Zephyra.
There it
They
is.
don't know what that means.
I'm sure they don't know what Draconia is, but I'd like to spread the word.
24.
24.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
He kind of gives you a look and says,
Well, look. We have reason to believe they may have been trying to fix and or rig their bets on the recent bout out here in the Crucible. That is a very serious offense here in the
I
Braving
can
Grounds.
imagine it would be, yes.
However, I don't want to deal with the processing and the time take. So if these are indeed your charges and you're willing to fill out some paperwork and pay the fines right now, we'll relinquish them to you.
Well, what's the fine? How much is the fine?
Who are you?
Oh, hi.
He's my lawyer.
I'm Burt Reynolds, Esquire.
Right.
I'm an attorney at large. I represent all manner of
An attorney at small.
escaped mental
An attorney at
patients.
small.
I mean, he's a gnome.
make a deception check.
20.
Well, very well. Small Reynolds,
If
sir.
you would like us to fill out, paperwork, I have about 2 reams of paperwork for you to fill out to release them to us
Yes.
as well. And also, there will be court costs involved. Oh boy! And
court
triplicate,
costs
you'll
are
have to get your
extravagant.
supervisor to fill out this one, and I will need this one, and I will need this one as well.
500 gold's fine, and we'll release them to you. All right? Is
500
that
gold.
fine?
That's
500
fine.
gold.
And they'll still get to collect their winnings from the pit.
I don't care what they're going to do. Just take them from me.
It's good.
Great, thank you, sir. You know what? I can make this paperwork disappear. This is fine.
Yes,
500.
actually, for a small. Never mind.
Nope.
Let it go. Let it go.
I love how you
Let it
noped
go.
Here you go.
You
I
noped yourself.
noped myself on that one.
Nope.
There you are, 500.
He collects it, ushers over to the other bastion, who comes over and takes off your manacles and escorts you to the door. He says,
However, if I see either of you two causing any trouble anywhere in Vasselheim, it's down to the oubliette you go. You hear me?
Say that word again. What? Oubliette?
The amaranth I nab oubliette. What is wrong with me? Get out of here! Run!
You've been bested!
You've out-talked the talker as the guard finds himself so flustered by the frustration and anger that he's been caused by this entire strange arrival of individuals. His speech pattern has been muddled, and then frustration shoves both of you out the front door and slams it behind you.
He's speaking Draconian!
I think he's having an aneurysm.
Oh, he's speaking Draconian, I heard it.
You guys, what were you
Thank you,
trying to do?
Sophie.
Cast magic?
She cast it here,
And then how did you get it?
I tried to talk out of it, and I just got arrested too.
Thank goodness you are being represented by an ace attorney.
Hold it!
He won!
I agree.
Let's go get your winnings, because I think that should cover the amount of it I just
Yes,
spent.
I'm
on
owed
getting you
20
out.
gold.
Tiberius,
Yes, you are.
thank you for your efforts. You as well, Keylith.
Oh, I'm so happy you won, Grog.
Thank you.
So happy.
I'm the champion.
I wish I could have
close.
seen. Because I was eating my binder out of stress.
As you guys make your way back to the Bella's Respite Inn, you eventually find the one Bastion who acts as the bookie, who is currently halfway through a very heavy pint and chatting with one of his friends. And you can hear there are stories now. People are retelling the tale of the battle in the Cauldron, of the rise of Grog the Victorious.
When we release, I like to get my winnings back.
What's where you guys are going to the bookie
Oh, great. Awesome.
who
Sweet.
keep them.
Are we in the tavern?
Grog,
You guys
they're
know the
talking
Bella's
about
Respite
you.
is.
Are there any small lads running about that are maybe like excited to see me or
Wait,
something?
what?
Or...
As
hold
you
on,
guys
wait.
enter the tavern,
boys?
there is a sudden bit of whispered quiet, and all the tales kind of fall to an end, and the place falls quiet as everyone kind of stares at you as you enter. Stepping in,
Are there any younger men that are?
There are maybe 2 men looking in like their late teens to early 20s that who saw the fight and are currently like wide, doughy-eyed, and like seeing a hero before them.
I walk over to one of them.
young.
I pull out a gold coin. And I say, "How would you like to make a gold coin, son?"
Oh boy.
I don't like where this is going.
From you, Grog the Victorious. Of course. What can I do? What can I
I
do?
reach into the bag of holding.
I can
I
find
take
you
out the
lots of young
second
boys.
place medal, the
Oh, thank
participant
God.
medal, and I go, "Make sure Kern gets there."
Takes it and reads it. Yes, indeed. Of course. He takes it and he runs off.
You sick fucks.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, come on.
It's like
You came into a bar looking for young boys. What are
Phrasing.
they supposed to think?
we're here.
together now.
Over there.
Yeah, we're not arrested
that's right.
anymore. You don't have to keep
Sorry,
doing this.
Phrasing. Phrasing.
All right, to Grog the Victorious.
The bookie gives you your coin purse of 20 gold.
Good job.
You guys, this really makes gambling so much fun.
You're welcome. Don't make it
Paying the
happen.
jail time.
Tiberius,
Hey, I bought
you get
a
your
nice
current coin purse of 2,448.
Great. Wonderful. Yeah.
Oh,
But you owe.
No, she's paying for that.
she's
only
got
made 20
20
gold.
gold.
Yeah, but she had other gold.
I bought a nice meal for you the
That's
other
true.
night.
She's
Oh,
bought a couple
shit.
nice meals
1,000
for you.
gold.
That's right. I'll pay you.
Tiberius.
I lost 100 gold.
What was it, 26, 24?
2,448 was the number.
Okay.
So just
Oh, I
So
guess
you still netted a profit.
No, it's good.
if you want to take the 500 from that, I'll put that
Yeah.
8 minus 500.
Man, that
1948
fight was
is what you
amazing.
have.
So happy with
That was
that.
fantastic.
times.
All right.
Should we use this as
I was gonna say, as you guys can celebrate with a joyous drink of ale here at the Bellows Respite Inn to celebrate the victory of not Philip, but Grog the Victorious in the Cauldron here in the braving grounds of Vasselheim in the northwestern region of the countryside. We will go take a quick restroom break and we'll return here in about 5 minutes. We'll see you guys here shortly.
Well, hey, Erica.
Hi, Hector.
Hey, we're the hosts of the new show here on Geek and Sundry's Twitch channel,
Group Hug,
where we roleplay hero clicks and we recreate our favorite comic book battles, or really whatever the heck we want. And we've got an awesome episode for you tomorrow. Who is our very special guest, Erica?
Tomorrow, our very special guest is Jordan Weissman, the creator of the original HeroClix system. You may also know him from such franchises as Mech Warriors or Shadowrun.
I Love Bees.
I Love Bees.
The Halo 2 thing from back in the day, guys.
He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, look him up. It's pretty awesome. And we got a really cool game for you guys planned. We're taking 60s Batman and Robin, and they're gonna go up against Christopher Nolan, grimdark, with no survivors, Batman villains. It's gonna be real fun. It's gonna be really good.
Gee willikers!
Let us know who your favorite Batman villain is and why using the hashtag GroupHug, and we're gonna pick a winner and give you guys a free booster pack of HeroClix right at the beginning of the show tomorrow. Right there. Boom.
We're nice like that, so join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. right here on Geek and Sundry.
Hey, Jess, check it out. Hey, everybody. I'm Orion Acalba.
I'm holding a French bulldog.
This is Jessica Marzipan, actually. And,
We have a show called Crowd Control every Monday, 7 to 10 p.m. here on Geek and Sundry, where we play MMOs. And right now, we're playing Final Fantasy 14 with you guys.
You guys. Yeah, and you can come and join our free company, Crowd Control. That's what it's called, because that's the name of our show. Again, 7 to 10 on Mondays on Geek and Sundry.
It's a lovely, beautiful game where you slaughter adorable animals.
And ugly ones, too. They're not all, I mean, a lot of them are ugly.
But a lot of them are cuties like this French bulldog. So watch our show.
Yeah, check us out.
See ya.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We are returning as the party has finished their celebration, drinking hard through the afternoon, celebrating Grog's victory in the Crucible.
Was that amazing or was that amazing? I've never seen anything like that.
It was incredible.
At all.
It was incredible.
Cheers. Cheers to you, big man.
Thanks,
Cheers.
I raised my glass of water and I cheers as well.
Thank you, Tom.
We all enjoy our applesauce. Apple juice.
Good apple juice.
Very good apple juice.
Gentle with that. Apples don't grow on trees.
This episode of Critical Role brought to you by Mott's.
Yes.
Lots Irish apple juice. All right.
It's a joke.
So,
God damn it.
with that bit of business, with the Crucible currently taken care of, the rest of your path is your own. What do you wish to do?
Money? Craghammer?
We should
You
go
on
to
by
Crag-
way of Craghammer?
No.
Is there anything else we want to do while we're here? before
No.
we leave?
I want to just
Are
get.
we over this town? Over this city?
Yes.
I just need to pick up a little bit of ore on the way out, so I can work on making some more ammunition on the way to Craghammer.
Sounds good.
I like that idea. We could take the airship and you could craft some things. When we do go, I think I might have an idea for our carpet situation.
Oh?
Really?
Yes.
Your wheel of mending,
Some
perhaps?
No, that
No, that's-
didn't work.
Might have been how it
That didn't work.
It kept it intact.
Who's
But
on here?
when we return to House Thunderbrand, I believe we have a few items that they want. The deal is when we procure certain items, we will be allowed to certain information and certain. We actually didn't want explained what we were going to get. But we should return, get our gold, and definitely visit House Thunderbrand.
Right. 'Cause
Perhaps
they have magic things.
they are strong in the arcane. Perhaps they can enchant for what we have procured for them in that venture. And maybe that could be a good way around getting our carpet re-enchanted without costing any coin.
We'll prod that. We'll prod that.
Can they make me unsee my sister's boobies?
You didn't see them, you were behind me, so shut up. What are you doing all the way over there anyway?
I saw them.
Can you, Scanlan, when we're on private, can you describe them to me?
I will draw them in great detail.
Thank you.
I know, I wasn't there either.
How about...
I would appreciate
You know what?
How about you leave drawing them to great detail to the internet? Just saying. Sorry.
You know what? I'm just gonna say.
Really, I went there.
I'm just gonna say.
It was already there. It was
already
already there.
I was caught up in a moment of
And thus Vox Machina
passion.
ends up on Rule 34.
I'm sorry.
Too late.
She would do anything for you, Grog.
Anything for you and for the 600 gold that I put on your fight.
Oh, it was for the money.
Listen, I
You
was
should
right
have
there.
used
There
money.
was no other way to handle that situation.
You did what you had to do.
Listen, I would show any part of me for like 2 gold.
I know.
Here's 2 gold.
Oh, here. Take a look at my third nipple.
On your
It can be wherever I put it, really. It's magical.
It's just a piece of gum.
I have no idea what's going on.
We're all together. That's what's going on.
I love this tavern.
So what is closer to Craghammer?
Do we need to find ore?
Emon?
Yes.
Or where we're from?
It's halfway. I think Craghammer's in between us and Emon.
I
No,
like
actually,
the type.
it's from where you guys are currently. Across the Osmit Sea is Emon, which is the port city in Taldore, and then Craghammer is about maybe
so we
2
gotta
days
stop
from
into
now.
Emon first.
Oh,
Look,
that's fine. Are we all ready to go?
What time is it?
you go
It's
to the
the
middle.
morning.
By now, I'd say it's like probably 1 in the
We're not
afternoon
in
since that
Emon.
fight's
Y'all,
happening.
we're day
Over
drunk.
here.
Yep.
Are we ready to go?
We're all.
We gotta get ore, right?
I'm not drunk.
Well, we're celebrating
Are
from
you-
Grog, right?
Well,
Doesn't Percy want ore?
I just need to pick. It's not hard to
Okay.
get a little bit of ore. I'm just going to pick up some.
can we
Try that again.
expedite that and then are we ready to go?
Well, maybe there's 2 more things that I have unfinished, unanswered questions for. First of all, you said we were going to go stop on the way to get a new carpet or to get our carpet repaired.
We need to go to Craghammer to collect our 30,000 gold
yes,
waiting
that's
for us to
true.
begin with.
25,000.
25,000, sorry.
Nice.
And while we're there, House Thunderbrand, we procured a few items for them, or at least one, while we were down in the Underdark. We should return there and talk to them, and perhaps in exchange per gold, we can maybe have them enchant the carpet to fly again.
That is a smart idea.
It's just...
That's great. Before we leave, though, does anyone have a nagging, tugging feeling about that cloaked human who praised your performance? Should we investigate that at all?
He had a lovely beard.
Well,
we
that
care?
makes something.
He did.
Should we at least find out who he was before we leave town?
Hey, bartender.
Oh.
At which point you see, off to the side, once lucky Ned, the barkeep looks over. Yes, yes.
Hi,
You have a
darling.
question?
Yes. That bearded, hooded gentleman at the end of the fight, yeah?
Kind of thinks for a second. Oh, you
The
mean...
one that everyone was quiet for?
The red
Yeah.
and gold robes.
What? Who? Who is he?
You're certainly not from around here, are you?
I'm not.
Foreign.
Looks around. That was Earthbreaker Groon.
Earthbaker Groon?
Earthbreaker Groon.
Breaker? He bakes the earth?
That's a great name.
Where does he hail from?
And yes.
What does he bake?
He's the
What does he
Dawn
do?
Marshal of the entirety of these here, Braving Grounds.
Dawn Marshal?
He's the Dawn Marshal. He is the highest esteemed cleric of the Church of Cord. The Trial Forge itself in the center of this city, this portion, this district. Well, he is the very, very top of the entire hierarchy underneath Cord's strength and watch.
And he nodded.
Apparently, he was summoned to watch this fight and approved of your prowess in battle.
What does that mean?
Oh, wait.
I have no fucking clue. But that's an honor, is what that is, and appreciate that yourself.
Oh, and I do. Thank you. If I wanted to find this Earthbreaker Groom,
Groon with an N.
Oh, Groon. Right, the other one's weird.
Yeah.
Would I find him in the middle of the Trial Forge?
Most likely.
So
Wonderful.
this guy's like the Pope of Cord?
What?
Pope?
Who's a pope?
Ah.
It's okay. She's young. Thank you for the information.
And
I'm
foreign.
foreign.
And foreign. Have a good day.
Thank you.
It has antlers on her head.
I think we should all leave.
Yeah.
I like her antlers. I'm just saying it's a good reason. There's nothing. It's just a very reasonable reason not to take you too seriously.
Thing.
Yes, Tiberius, my good friend.
Do you have? Are you satisfied in your knowledge of procure?
I'm always satisfied.
Wonderful.
Too easy. Too easy.
Well,
Grog, I'm sure you would like to go to a pub of sorts.
We're at a pub.
Oh fuck!
We're day drunk.
That's how drunk we are.
I have a brilliant, if slightly inebriated thought.
I walk out of the bar.
Okay.
I have an even better, brilliant yet slightly inebriated thought.
Oh, I think I saw Tiberius fall
Burt
over.
Reynolds.
Oh, is Tiberius puking? Oh,
No,
What is it, Percy?
oh, just I'll handle them.
My
in a minute.
thought
What were you gonna
is
say?
I can probably find some of the ore I need to procure if at the same time that we find this groom fellow, and at the very least, you can strike up a quick conversation with him and see what
Would
it
you like
was
me to go
about
with you,
that-
Grog, as your manager?
I would actually like both the twins to go with.
Grog, would you like any young boys to accompany you?
You can give them a medal.
I walk in back. I get back into the bar because I went took a piss outside.
Let's go.
Wait, where are we going?
What's going on?
You guys are recovering from your drink.
No, hold on a second.
No.
I've had plenty of water.
You've already been arrested today.
I'm fine.
That was
Scanlan has been ordering me
gave
water
us this?
for the whole time we've been. It has been
That's
clear.
right. I have
Cleared.
already been arrested today, but I need to get better.
All right, so
character sheet if I need it.
you guys are going with Percy to procure materials for forging new ammunition.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make an investigation check.
What happened to my dice? Okay.
The hell is that?
14.
Cups. Yeah, okay.
14. Okay. It takes you roughly 30 minutes or so. Thankfully, this region itself contains, honestly, most of the smithing-based materials and/or workshops that be required. The difficult part is finding black powder. It is not refined in this region. It's usually considered almost a byproduct of some of the mining and smelting in this, and it's very rare to find. Eventually, you find one smithy that gathers it. You're not entirely certain why, and everyone seems to send you, like, after you give people a couple examples of kind of the smell of it and what to look for, people send you this one direction, and you're sent to this one kind of small hovel that is attached to the very base of the mountain that overlooks the entirety of the city on the far northwestern edge of the Braving Grounds. You come to the door, and it's a very, very simple, kind of slovenly kept house. The wood itself is a little warped from the weather. It hasn't kept well, and there's kind of a musty smell of mildew from the outside of the building. But you see a slight glow between the cracks. Apparently there's some sort of interior light.
Hello?
Yes?
Oh. Charming. My name is Percival Frederick Stein von Musa Kowalski de Roller III.
Huzzah!
Thank you. I was sent to you. I was sent here in terms to hopefully negotiate the purchase of some black powder. I've heard that
The door slams open at this point, mid-sentence, and you see from around the corner a very lithe, crooked-looking man, quite elderly, but very spry for his size. You'd see his arms and legs are very lanky and almost spider-like in the way they move and shift as he peeks out, and you can see he has spectacles of 2 different sizes and thickness around each eye. His hair is kind of frazzled and gray and white. He goes,
Yes!
Oh.
You said you need black powder! Yes, come in!
And he runs back into the hovel.
Nice.
I gingerly enter this.
We're not with them. We're not.
As you step inside, the scent hits you immediately, and you realize this place is probably filled with black powder, and the last thing anyone wants is to set off any sort of flame. This would be a very bad idea. And as you look around, your eyes adjust to the low-lit interior. You realize it's low-lit because there are 2 very, very faintly set magical torch sconces on each side that are very, very low light.
Very similar to the ones surrounding you.
Kind of like these, but even smaller. And you can see in the room, there is a small forge that's kind of in disuse to the far end.
I would hope so.
There are a large number of crates and barrels that all seem to be containing various parts of discarded gravel. Basically, whatever is kind of shoved off of any mining expedition goes to him, and he just shuffles through it and kind of separates it in different pieces. And there's barrels full of sulfur. There's barrels full of what looks like broken kind of onyx or broken quartz. And they're all been separated. And you can see now this is kind of his OCD collection. And there is indeed in the far end what looks to be a barrel that contains a large amount of black powder that it's just everywhere. It's like this very fine coat of powder that is encompassing this entire room. And as he turns around, you can see now his hands himself are black and coated in. And he goes,
So, you came looking for black powder, did you? No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes. You wish to buy it? How much do you want? Speak up! Speak up! I haven't all day.
How much for a barrel or a hogshead's worth?
For the barrel, that'll run you. 4,623 gold pieces for the barrel. However, for a hogshead...
You can see now there's spittle dribbling down his chin.
It's as if I can see the spittle myself.
Yes, indeed.
For the hogshead, which...
And he turns around and shuffles through a bunch of pieces of burlap and sack and pulls out what looks to be an actual dried and hollowed out hogshead.
To fill this hogshead with it, this will only cost you 426 gold pieces.
20.
Yes.
How about 400 even, and you can direct me to some ore as well?
Ore? I do not work in ore.
I thought you might have a friend.
Make a persuasion roll.
Nice, Percy.
Oh.
Nice, Percy. Look at that. He slipped right into Mercer there. No, that's the
Yeah. I love Percy. 25.
25.
I'm sure you have a friend. You seem so amiable.
400, I send you to Samson. Yes, you take?
My good sir, you have a deal.
Glorious!
He turns around and just jams the head into the barrel of black powder, picks it up. The soot kind of settles against you and the rest of you guys as you now find yourself partially covered in this slowly dissipating cloud of black powder. You cough instinctively and push it away.
400 gold. You pay?
I gingerly put the purse down in front of me.
He takes it with a whisk. It's already put away into a side pouch, and you hear the clanging of kind of haphazard coins in his far pocket.
Yeah. Okay, take it. To Samson, this way.
And he grabs your arm and drags you out of his hovel. He points across the way with this kind of shaking, crooked finger.
Samson, there, in the brick building. Tell him, Vitan sends you. He'll give you all.
Thank you for all of your help. You've been so kind.
Oh, my pleasure. You want more powder? Come back.
I might do that.
Good. Goodbye.
And pushes you out, takes both of you by the arms and pushes you out, slams the door behind, and you are left kind of standing there half covered in blackened soot and black powder in the center of the thoroughfare midday, kind of stunned by the whole encounter.
I mean, come on.
Amazing.
Oh, no, fuck off.
Amazing.
Come on.
Matt's crazy prospect.
I'm going to very gently. I'm going to walk over to Samson's place then and become very excited at the prospect of a new accent.
6.2, 6.4, 6.5. Amazing.
All three from the Russian judge.
Yeah, you you walk to the distant brick building. The bricks themselves are made of like a hardened grayish clay material that's been made for the basic construction of this. The roof itself is just a solid slab of stone. There is no kind of pretty or elegant aspect of its construction. It's merely built for purpose. The door is partially ajar, and as you kind of peek in, you can see there is a very, very active forge. There is heat emanating from the interior, and you can see there's a man who is currently hammering something away at what looks like an anvil set outside in front of it. Ping! Ping! Yes?
Mr. Samson?
Yes?
Vic from that strange fellow down the road sent me to you. He said you might have some more.
The head sinks into the shoulders with a sigh. All right, if you dealt with that crazy old coot, at the very least I can offer you a brief conversation. Hold on just a second. And you see he kind of takes this visor off the front of his face and sets it down and removes these big leather gloves and this leather an apron of sorts and puts it to the side, and he kind of wipes his brows. He steps over, and you can see him now. He's a man in kind of his late 20s, muscle bound, a little thick around the waist, kind of barrel chested, a little bit of scruff on his chin, but nothing beyond just like not having time for upkeep, and focused on his work. And he kind of steps up. All right, so what'd the old coot tell you, anyway?
He said you might have some raw ore for sale that I might purchase. You'll excuse me if I don't come in. I'm covered in explosive powder.
No, please stay there. For the love of God, stay on that doorstep. Do not step into my abode, please.
Yes, of
please.
course. No. Yes.
Please. All right.
Rest.
What ore are you interested in?
Just some iron ore. I have a little invention which sends projectiles at great speed.
That sounds fascinating. I have ore for sale. Raw ore, would you like ingots? I prepare ingots. They're a little more expensive, but they're proper and ready for any sort of use for blacksmithing materials.
Ingots would be preferable, yes.
All right. How many are you looking for? 5, 10, 20?
What could you give me for approximately 1,000 gold worth?
Kind of gives you an arced bright. I mean, I only have about 200 pounds worth of iron ingots at the ready.
I certainly can't carry that much with me right now. Let's say about 100 pounds worth.
100 pounds iron ingots? I could sell that to you. I'd say let's set the price at about 400 gold pieces.
Haggle him down. I'm not that.
Where are we?
But in the back of his head, he hears your voice. We all do at this point.
Think of me.
Let's say 350 gold, and I promise to always shower twice before entering your home for my next purchase.
Make a persuasion roll.
All right.
Pointless haggle. I love it.
Aha!
Best part of the show.
I wish I were Percy.
24.
24 goes. You drive a hard bargain.
People like me because of my hair.
I love your rolls.
I know.
However, underneath all that soot, I can see you dress well at the very least. A bit tattered around the edges. I like for future business. So, say 350 and take the ingots, and please do shower next time.
Of course. You are a gentleman and apparently a worthy smith as well. I do bid you good day then.
I've already completed the transaction. Flattery is not required. He reaches over and settles into a large, triple bagged set of ingots. He gets partway through and goes, no, this is cart worthy. Sets it up onto a small cart and brings it over to you. And it's a small kind of wheeled wooden cart. It looks really rickety and probably about to collapse. But he does not charge you for it and hands it over to you. It can be hand carried if need be.
Good man. I will see you when my need arises again.
I look forward to it. Remember, bathed.
Very bathed.
Bathed.
In fact, quite bathed.
Seriously.
It's
bathed.
I promise.
Please.
Yes.
All right, we're good. Thank you. And he closes the door. All right, you guys.
Percy.
We're going to see Earthbreaker.
Yeah.
Earthbreaker.
Groon.
All right. Make your way to the outskirts of the trial forge.
You know who he is. Do we need to pursue
Just
this
to
stuff?
talk to him because he likes Grog.
I mean, we can stay and keep getting day drunk.
Why don't you just go get arrested?
I don't think it'll take long.
You guys make your way to the trial
That hurts,
forge.
Scanlan.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm gonna come back and join you. So.
I'm gonna do a daily roll for my pet because I'm gonna try to treat a trick and roll 15.
Okay. Try and teach you a trick.
Yeah, I think I need to. I don't know
All I
how
have
many.
is
I need to like build like so many points per
trick.
day, and then I could.
What
teach
trick? What kind of trick are you teaching?
The Cabbage Patch.
To scout.
To scout for you?
Cabbage Patch is better.
I'll say with 15, yeah, you take some time and with a small draconian command, you know, a phrase of your choice, you teach it that on that one phrase, it will go ahead and wander ahead for a bit, and then come back and relinquish in very, very broken, kind of very basic draconic language into you via your connection with it. Very, very basic information about what it saw.
Cool.
I'm going to throw a lightning bolt spell into my ion stone.
Okay, so you store that. Awesome.
Yeah, treat.
Okay. It takes it and
Water
gobbles it down happily.
For my canteen.
Awesome. You guys make your way to the trial forge. The large temple to court itself is once again brilliant to behold. There are steps that lead up to the front area. These giant, reddish, almost rusted overlooking iron doors that block the front entrance. And at the very top of it, you see looming over this entire district is a gargantuan statue of Cord himself. This giant, muscle-bound humanoid titan of a figure that stands there. Giant beard, muscle-bound torso. Braces against the arms, just one knee up, this very heroic pose, and just kind of looking over the rest of Vasselheim under his gaze. You step up to the front of these iron doors, and you can see there are two more bastions adorned in the same way the ones that oversaw the battle at the Crucible. One shouts out, "Halt! He who approacheth the trial forge, what is your business here?"
Yes, we are here to see, to pay homage to Earthbreaker Groon with the latest champion of the city.
Of the city? The city claims no champion.
Of the Crucible, you know.
Both kind of glance at each other.
The Earthbreaker is a fan.
I highly doubt that.
Tell him Grog.
Check
your
your
faces.
Check your facts, buddy.
Training your pet.
I'm not there.
Check
We're
your
getting
facts.
day drunk and training your pet.
He likes the cut of his jib,
Yeah.
believe you me.
That's fun.
Oh, and the other one kind of gets off and side, and stands there,
I'm being sad because I got arrested.
arms crossed, looking down upon you from 3 large stone steps up. With this look of, I'm looking forward to throwing these guys out. About 5 minutes pass. The next one comes back and whispers into his ear.
That's you casting a spell. That's
Very well. The 4 of you may enter briefly, but this one's only invited to the center chamber. The rest of you must keep a distance. A distance.
Oh, yeah, of like, what, 10 feet? Yeah?
You'll know.
Okay.
He steps aside and the doors slide open. As you guys step in the interior, the smell that hits you immediately is that of sage and other burned herbs that are used ceremonially to cleanse a certain landscape of evil spirits from a superstitious standpoint, but also just to kind of build an atmosphere of meditation and understanding. The one Bastion that left and came back and whispered in his ear comes up and leans into you guys and gives you a nod. He doesn't actually speak to you, but gives you a hand gesture to follow. Leads you into the trial forge, and you can see now these halls it's essentially one long hallway. It's an arch about 85 to 100 feet up, and the interior of it is built out of a very, very thick, sturdy, reddish stone. You don't know if the actual stone itself is built from a substance of this color or itself has been stained or colored to match the rest of the kind of the cord reddish aesthetic. But as you step in, your footfalls clack against a black marble floor with what looks like gold streaks through it. Almost like there are small veins of some sort of gold material that has been polished within the actual marble itself.
Very pretty.
He gives you a nod and a smile. No words in response. Continues to gesture forth, and as you guys step in, you see occasionally a few other individuals walking by with a similar, like, gold and red robe aesthetic that you saw Earthbreaker wearing when he went to watch your battle in the Crucible. However, they're generally a little more dressed down, very simple, as opposed to the kind of expressive designs that were billowing across the kind of baggy leggings that the Earthbreaker were wearing, and the robes. As you continue forward, they all kind of step aside and keep a quiet watch until you begin to notice in the distance there are actually two large hallways that intersect. You can see most of the Trial Forge are now two long hallways that intersect into a centerpiece. And at the center place of this temple, there is a raised dais at three different levels. And at the top of it, you can see there is a beam of light that comes down from above. As you begin to walk towards the structure, you see there is a small figure that is currently sitting on top of this central dais. As you approach the outskirts of this main central chamber where the two long hallways intersect, the quiet Bastion puts his hand out and tells the rest of you to stop, gives you a look, and nudges you to proceed.
Do you need us with you?
Well, yeah, you know I don't like talking.
Well,
He's not very good at talking. Would you like someone to come and translate for him?
Is he going on his own then?
Is that a yes? Then
good luck.
Okay, sorry.
I go forward.
As you step forward, your footfalls clacking against the...
I'm sorry.
interior.
We've been daytime drinking, and I'd hate to interrupt that. Do you have a place here if I can't be with
This is
him?
a temple. I mean,
Are you sure?
Just puts his hand out before.
oh, he's some sort of vow of silence. We should respect it, and also make fun of it when he's gone.
Oh my god!
At the end of that,
Oh my god!
It's fine.
I've got a flask.
As Grog steps out into the central chamber, you can hear his footfalls kind of echoing throughout the height here. And as you look up, you can see now the light source from above is a what looks like a stained glass domed roof to the top of the central chamber. There is a dark spot in the center where you can see the shadow from the kind of early afternoon sun is being blocked from the giant statue of Cord that remains at the top of this temple, who is currently, essentially, now looking at the structure, straddling the top of this giant dome stained glass roof. And so underneath this statue is where the top of this structure is. And through it, these beams of light are coming down multicolored and kind of cascading onto this central chamber. Sitting in the center, you see, cross-legged, arms to the side, eyes closed, there sits Earthbreaker Groom, Don Marshall himself, quiet, as you approach.
Eyes closed?
Eyes closed.
I step forward and say, sorry to disturb. I'm looking for Earthbreaker Groon.
You see an eyebrow kind of twitch for a second. The eyes remain closed and the head turns for a second. Hands come together like this, and in that one motion stands to his feet, almost like it was effortless. From what would seem like a very uncomfortable position, suddenly is fully standing with a swift movement. In place, rotates and turns towards you, eyes still closed, at which point the eyes open. And you saw pupils previously, but in this moment of what seems to be serious meditation, there is this luminescent white light that encompasses the entirety of each eye, just looking straight towards you, the hands still kind of clasped in the center like this, staring straight at you.
Okay.
You have found the Earthbreaker. What do you ask of me?
I keep the little bit of pee that's about to fall out from falling out, and I say, I happen to see you amongst the crowd at my recent tussle. It seemed that everyone there seemed to know who you were. I wanted to at least introduce myself.
Grog, the victorious.
That's right. That's right.
Once called Philip, known as one of Vox Machina, the traveling band from Emon.
Oh shit! Wait.
Slayer of demons that once usurped Uriel himself. I know of your travels. I know of your deeds. What else do you ask of the Earthbreaker?
I don't really ask. I only mean to say that Vox Machina is at your disposal if you would ever need someone outside of the amazing Braving Grounds, Vasselheim. We're really amazing.
I know what's going. We know where they're at, right?
No.
You don't know where they're at.
If you would just keep us in mind.
You're a critter.
At this point in time, his eyelids close, and they open again, and there's a softness that wasn't before. The white light has faded, and you can now see beneath them these extremely piercing, very, very light blue, almost white irises that surround his pupils. And from his old, weathered, wrinkled face from underneath his beard, you can see a smile slowly crawl across his cheeks. His hands release and rest to his side. He lifts his head slightly as if to look down at you from upon this dais, not with judgment, but with curiosity. His voice echoes and booms through this with even but a whisper from his throat, once again saying, "Your piety is accepted. Perhaps there may be a use for court of you and your compatriots in the future. Should this day arise, you will know. And you must hurry. Dark times are ahead. I can see the veils twisting. Many, many evil minds come to rend the peace apart. There will be a day I call for you, Grog the Victorious. Stay alive."
I mean to. Thank you. It has been an honor being in your presence.
He steps back to his position originally.
Now go.
He turns around and sits back into his meditative position, closes his eyes, and disappears back into the same place where you originally saw him.
I turn around and I go, guys, his fucking eyes are glowing.
We're not here.
You gotta go.
You kept it together great.
Thanks. Did you hear all of that?
Yeah, I couldn't hear much, but it was great.
I almost had an aneurysm.
He sounded very serious.
Great. Yeah, we should go. He's cool.
Do you think I should shit somewhere?
No.
Okay, we'll just go then.
Yeah,
We'll just go then.
Yeah, sand shit and about.
Better be safe. Better be safe. Better be safe? Just a little one. Just a little
No.
Okay, we'll just go.
And we make our way out of the golden floored, glowing eyed guy's house.
You are escorted out of the trial forge. You eventually meet up with the rest of Vox Machina. You carrying to your side, strapped a dried hog's head filled with black powder, and a cart of about 100 pounds of iron ingots.
Ooh.
Wow.
You want me to hold on to all that for you? Or not just
If you
yet?
can just help load it onto the ship, that would be lovely.
Wow.
We're going on the airship.
If we can fit it in the bag of holding, it would be much better.
Sure, certainly if we can put it in the bag of holding, it would be fine.
Is that a pig's head?
It is literally a pig's head.
I don't. Yes,
That's
that is in
lovely.
fact a pig's head. It's complicated.
Hog, really, but it's bigger than a
Poor
pig's
thing.
head.
Let's find Captain Damon and get back on the ship.
I start casting
Look
circle
at
teleportation.
you remembering
As you
names.
guys are having
He's
this
very
discussion,
handsome.
you laugh at it, you look over and you can see the airship, which is a little, not too hard to see from this distance, is currently being outfitted, actually being finalized, being outfitted with brand new ballista. Remember those giant dragon-headed ballista you saw set along the walls in the outskirts of Vasselheim? Those have now been affixed to the airship, as the previous air encounter it had. They didn't seem to quite cut the defense aspect of it. You guys notice this just in time as you see a flash of light and you look over your shoulder, and Tiberius has finished drawing what looks to be a large sigil. I fixed my pronunciation, Internet, thank you.
I like Sigil.
I grew up with sigil.
I didn't
and
wanna
realized-
say. Sigil
I know.
wiggle.
Sigil.
Can I, since I came in at the halfway mark, I really wanted to go to an ink specialist here in Vasselheim before we left. So can we retcon and go backwards and say that I got the elven sounds for v and
It's Vox
put
Machina.
right there.
Tattooed on his fucking wrist.
Elven. And then over here, I don't remember much of the mathematics that my teachers in our homeland
Wait, are you saying that
Single.
someone out there in the world should do the elven symbol for VM and we should all get literally tattooed?
No, that's ridiculous. But over here, I have a mathematical shape. I don't know if you know arithmetic, but I learned arithmetic when I was studying. I learned knife work, I learned elven poetry, and I learned arithmetic. And,
Yes.
and I had a knack for it. She didn't.
I did not.
But I did. And I would
you have
like
the
to
goal.
get, it was called an icosahedron.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Right here?
Right here.
That's a 20-sided.
Wait, are we all doing that together?
In real
Because
life?
I'll go with you.
This is real life.
Oh, yes.
But to start, I
You guys, we
I
got a
wanted to
little
get
day
it
drunk.
here,
Let's go together.
And I
Come
wanted the elven
on.
symbol,
don't think
just
you're
me,
supposed to.
just me, the symbol for V and in elven right there.
All right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So as you've had this done over the past few days, as you were awaiting the return of the other team who went off against a white dragon, apparently, you've had the time to do so. You just haven't quite revealed it to the rest of your allies yet.
All right.
All right.
But you guys look over your shoulder, and as you're talking about taking the airship, Tiberius has crafted a runic circle into the ground that itself is beginning to pulse with arcane energy. A familiar sigil, one that you think actually.
No.
No, I keep fucking it up.
Sigil.
I just
You know what?
happily fixed it, and then you distracted me.
No.
That's
Quitting.
That's
Own it.
pronounced
And just so everybody knows, I was writing Lockheed's stats.
Side
Chikonakoa.
There we
That's what I
go.
was.
Chikonakoa.
The arcane sigil
Sorry.
on the ground. A familiar one that you once saw along the beach of one underdark subterranean
Down by the
island.
Oh.
By the beach. So now we
Down
have...
over by the Badlands?
Tiberius, you are on the cusp of completing your ritual.
Missed a lot.
I want to finish it. No. Oh, I choose Emon.
All right, the sigil flashes with arcane energy and opens up. You see a small doorway that's kind of sparkling across the ground.
He's just
We
making
can.
This is quicker.
We can just pop
But
over
Emon
to
is not
Emon.
Crackhammer.
You can see the sigil shimmering,
Look at
and
the
the
map.
energy is
Yeah,
beginning
well,
to
that's a
fade.
very
We should
fair.
go in.
I'm
We
already
should go
doing
in.
it.
We
Let's
should
go.
All right.
Let's go.
What about the airship? What about
The
Captain
airship
Damon?
was only going to take us to Emon anyway.
I walk right
This
through
is
it and say,
faster.
Tiberius, where are we going?
Emon. I go
All
through
right.
it too.
Captain Damon. No.
I can hold it for a minute.
All right.
And I just jump in. Woohoo!
You all leap
Jumping
through the
into
sigil.
I like jumping into things.
It's a place that we've been to already too.
All right.
I like leap of faiths. They're exciting.
You guys find yourself once again in a small white room, familiar, the place that was your immediate sigh of relief when you returned from the Underdark.
Guys, it feels good to
You-
be home.
You push through the doorway, returning once again to the 80-foot circular chamber of white stone, where a vibrant crystal chandelier hangs from the ceiling.
Oh, right.
There are 5 other doors around the room, and you are currently in the center of the traverse junction within the Alabaster Lyceum.
I mean, we just
Right,
did
like,
this. We
yeah.
just did
We
this. It
just-
wasn't too long ago.
So it's okay. We
Exactly.
popped out
Wait,
as
wait.
the same guy there.
Indeed.
You understand. It just-
Gatekeeper Xanthus is there waiting for
How
you.
long have we been gone?
Hold on, Tiberius wants to say something.
Yes, what?
To explain the travel schematic, it would take us a few days to come back on the airship to this particular area. If we wanted to go back to Craghammer, it would be much more efficient if we teleported as we have.
Definitely.
And take a transport to Craghammer, which is only north of here really, as well.
yes,
which
I
will only
agree.
probably take a day, right? Was that
5 days.
Oh shit! Did we leave
It's a 5
Trinket?
days
Did we
travel.
leave
The
Trinket
airship, I
behind?
mean.
Trinket is with
Okay,
them.
good. I'm
Airship
very
from
concerned.
here.
It is nearly a week to travel from Emon to Vasselheim via airship, yes.
To Craghammer?
No, to Crackhammer from here, it's about a 3-day travel on
Right.
horseback.
The airship, right?
We don't have an
There
airship.
is no airship to Crackhammer.
Oh, that's
That's
good.
but it would have dropped us off in Emon anyway.
So that we just shaved off 5 days.
Totally.
Good job, Tiberius.
You're a
I
keen-
pop on out and I say hello again.
Yes, you've returned.
Yes.
Well, this time I would like you to fill out the proper paperwork.
This
So
time,
that's
of course, you already know ahead of time that we are dear friends of Uriel, and we do not need to.
That
get to
is
sign
not
things.
true. I had my
My
ass
signature
chewed out
doesn't-
by the headmaster Thurmond Adlam last time you came through and told me that. So, and he, from underneath his desk, poof, slams down what looks to be a cluster of about 25 papers. I require you to fill these out so I do not lose my job here in the Lyceum.
All right, Vax,
know what?
Vax pulls it over and starts filling it out and saying, all right, but you know, we're kind of a big deal here.
He's trying to get me to do it.
I was
We
saying
seriously
Percy's
are.
so good at paperwork.
I can split the load.
But I thought we had a lawyer for this? I thought we had Burt Reynolds Esquire.
Excuse me.
We're doing the paperwork. It's here.
Let's just do the paperwork.
I've got it, Burt.
I'm sending X's
Just
everywhere.
because you didn't like
send an X
paperwork
on something?
or Elvin doesn't mean I don't. I've got it. But Uriel's not going to be pleased.
He's gonna be super pissed.
But don't worry,
Wondrous. I look forward to it.
You really do.
Great.
Well, here you are. And here's my.
Do you have a bathroom around here?
Oh, Scanlan, hold it.
I pick up an instrument to write with and go.
Down the hall to the left.
All right.
2 doors.
I might make it.
Vax fills out the entire thing except for the final signature and says, Scanlan, could you put the final signature on this?
Sundry
Notarize it.
is helping you.
Yeah, we were both.
boy.
There's a lot
Buttoning
of-
up my fly.
Oh god.
Final signature? Whoomp. I'll just sign
Just
my
paperwork.
name.
I don't see what the bloody problem is.
Yeah, that works too.
All right.
Oh, it's shaped like a helmet.
Thank you kindly.
This is what I think.
You are free to go.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
A real pleasure.
Very much so.
See you next
Thank
time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thank you.
so
You know what I think?
So much.
Here we go.
You know what
We'll
I
go
think?
this
I
way.
think you guys hate each other, actually.
We're good. Everything's fine.
Go on your way.
We're good.
Goodbye.
Moving on.
You look well rested.
All
It's
right.
so beautiful.
Don't worry, I shat in the hallway.
It's fine.
What time of day is it?
As you guys leave the Lyceum, you enter the main courtyard that leads into it. You are currently within the cloud-top district of Emon. A clear blue sky, just dotted with clouds ahead of you. You gather it's probably, around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No time has passed since the travel was instantaneous thanks to
Instant.
teleportation.
You are so good, you.
Let's. Why don't we take a day or two to recuperate
Yes.
and
So
then
you guys,
make our way to
we are
Craghammer?
officially drunk in 2 different cities.
Wait.
I'm not drunk.
Is our next destination Craghammer?
Yes.
I was drunk.
Collect our money.
Let's take a night and then go set off in the morning.
What time is it?
do it.
What time is it right now in the day?
It's about 3, 4 p.m.
I think it's about shit o'clock.
Are we betrayed? We just ride drunk and drink while we're
She's
riding
day drunk.
booze.
Well,
Drunk riding.
we haven't
Let's go
been
home and change
and
clothes.
Oh, we can go. Yes, we can go to the keep and say hi to everyone.
I need to water the garden. Probably have to.
No,
would like to
we
make
have
some-
servants that do that.
To the keep.
But they don't do it as
keep.
well
To
as
the
I
keep.
do.
They do it
All right.
with the same water.
You guys make your way through from the cloud-top district to the southern edge of Emon, to the lower slums, outside of the city along the southern wall, to Greyskull Keep. The visual is welcoming. It's standing clean, and in the distance you can see a figure kind of walking across the top of the wall, kind of keeping a watch. As you get closer, you can see it is the image of Cordell.
Cordell,
one of the half-orc, the individual that you guys hired along with Shane. As you approach the front gate, you see what looks like a tent, like a large, thick burlap or linen brown tent is just
At
kind
our
of set up
house?
right outside of you
That
guys.
wasn't there before.
What is
Lodge
that?
tent? Where?
Yeah.
Wait,
Cordell, what is this tent?
Cordell is kind of looking over the edge. As you guys approach, he gives you a wave.
Oh, hi.
Hello! And you can see Shane kind of runs up next to him off the top. She has her crossbow at the ready. She goes, "Oh, finally you've arrived. I'm so glad you could make it. Yes, this has been here for about 2 weeks now."
Is someone inside of it?
At which point you hear like sudden rustling from the inside of the tent, and a face pops out briefly. You can see what looks humanoid features, and suddenly darts back inside, and you hear more rustling. It sounds like pots and metals clinking around.
I
and
immediately go over and throw open the.
as you throw open the tent, at that moment you see another person is kind of pushing out of the tent, and you both have this awkward moment where you both, and he kind of pushes off you instinctively and kind of rights himself. The tent kind of half collapses behind him, and he catches himself and stands there at the ready. You see before you what looks to be a young man, probably in his late teens, like 19, 20 years old, haphazardly dressed in scale mail armor.
Phrasing.
A longsword, crossbow, and hand axe, and buckler all dangling from his belt, weighing him down slightly. His dark brown eyes peer from beneath his short, tousled ash blonde hair, and a nervous yet excited smile flashes across his face. Oh, you've returned! You Percival! Percival, the great one who streaks fire from his tube. And the great druid princess.
I have that taken care of.
Keylith, right? And you, the Dragonborn who controls the elements himself, Tiberius, of the Stormwind family, yes? Yes, I've heard of you.
Don't.
Wait. Okay.
Scanlan, I've heard your tales across the land. Your womanizing does not reach ears too far from the city.
I'm men too.
That's what your reputation?
And you, the twins. Oh, Vaxeldan and Vexalia. Oh, the many bodies you've lain at your feet of the evil that crossed your path. And the mighty, muscled Grog. I'm beside myself. I've been
Grog
waiting
the
for this.
Victorious, get it right.
The Victorious, yes, of course.
And you are, young man.
I am Kynan Leore, son of Harold the Butcher, and I wish to join you in your travels.
Oh, darling, you're so brave and strong.
Well, you're welcome to do so.
No.
Really?
Okay.
It would be my honor. It really, truly would be.
No.
Kind
This is
of,
not an open membership situation.
You seem to know a lot about it.
Vox Machina has been together for many years, and we've forged our bonds of friendship.
And
through
I
many
can
battles.
forge my win. I can prove myself.
How?
What is your skill, sir?
Well, my father, Harold the Butcher, well known throughout these lands.
For butchering, I believe.
He's a good
Yes.
butcher. Yeah.
Well, he is an actual butcher, in the upper slums. But I have been training day and night for months until I was ready to fight alongside you all, and I humbly offer my sword as part of Vox Machina.
Your sword.
Yes, I'm a skilled swordsman.
You are.
Well, show us.
I have an idea.
I trained under old Leonard Fike, an ex-guard captain of Emon himself.
Wait,
He's a
what
friend
was
of
his name? Lord Lennon Fiken?
Leonard Fike. He was once
Leonard Fike.
Leonard Fike.
As he's talking, I motion to open the gates.
You hear a shift as Shane and Cordell begin to pull the top of the gates, the chains kind of clenching.
Is he talking to Vex? Are they talking together?
I'm using insight.
Closer
on it
to
as
you.
he's talking.
Go ahead and roll insight.
Are they? How close are they?
They're about 3-4 feet across.
3-4 feet apart.
She's
Okay.
closest to him.
I flip a dagger in my hand and I go to the back of his head. Is what I do.
Okay.
Knock him out?
No. Wait.
Yeah,
What?
that's what I do. I did it. It's done.
All right. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Thanks. Don't worry, I'm using the flat end. Oh, good. That's a 17
Plus whatever.
plus a high number.
Oh, you rolled 17.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll. Sneak attack damage. It's a critical because it's before
Yeah,
he
but
acted.
it's the back end of the dagger,
Yeah.
all right?
Yep.
I'm
So
just
go
saying
ahead
that
and roll
up
sneak
front.
attack ×2.
I go inside the keep.
And you're
I was
touching
interested.
my dice.
The boy needs a lesson. This is not a life for a child. Okay, that's good.
Oh, Jesus. It's like a million.
×2.
Dude, 28 on the sneak attack
Times
damage
2.
only.
Is that
And I
×2?
remember that
Or is it
the
28 ×2?
Oh, ×2. Oh, so that's 50.
He's dead.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Cleaved his head off with the blunt end of
If
your
he's
knife.
like a level 1, you kill them.
It's 56. Just the sneak attack damage alone. I'll roll a 1.
probably-
And then add the D4
Right.
and the modifier for the dagger.
It's 10.
I mean,
So total of 66 damage.
66 damage, yeah.
66 damage.
but it's non-lethal.
As you're having this conversation,
It's
you just whoosh behind him and whack right to the temple. It's like, I'm a swordsman. I'm trained. And he just goes straight down into a pile.
Catch him.
With
on
my
his way
bonus
down.
action, I pull out one of my remaining healing potions.
Why?
Right? And I shove it in his mouth
Why
like
would you
this.
do that to
and let it
him?
go,
He
go,
was
go, go,
just
go,
a-
go, go, down in.
All right.
That happened so fast.
Eventually, he's
Hi,
I
darling.
take him
Exodia.
by the lapels. Things move very fast with us. I don't think you understand what you're asking for. If you think you can handle that,
Vaxeldan.
This is why he's single.
I've heard of your work for quite some time. Show me your ways.
Illithid. Alright? Beholders, large white dragons. I know it's cool to see her flash her boobs and this
I
one
never
sing a
flash my boobs,
song.
by the way,
It's
ever.
all excitement and craziness and all the rock and roll that the kids are talking about. Listen to me.
You're selling him on this big time.
It's dangerous. You could die any given day. So could I. So could she. So could him. Maybe not him, but the rest of us, sure. Are you really interested in this?
Make an intimidation check.
Oh, little one.
Mine.
Why?
Tough love. That's called tough love.
Welcome to LA, bitch.
That's not bad. That's a 10
You
plus.
look-
Could somebody pass me
actual-
that shit over there?
Plus 6.
16.
He looks at you for a second. His eyes, his brow kind of comes together, and you can see there's a quiver to his bottom lip. And he goes,
Oh.
Wait. There's his heart
"I
breaking.
thought you were a hero.
Oh.
I waited 2 weeks to meet you."
How could you do that?
What's? Tell me your name again.
Kaiman.
Doesn't matter.
Hang out.
Doesn't matter at all. You're right. And he kind of puts his hand up and kind of pushes you
Hyman,
away. And
wait!
gets back, pulls the fish out of your hands, and kind of takes a few steps away and looks over his shoulder. You can see now there's tears welling up in his eyes, and he goes, "I just wanted to be a hero."
Wait.
Kaiman!
Kaiman.
Kaiman.
Train him up. Send him on a mission.
Come back when you're ready.
No, send him on a mission.
Right now.
Train him up.
Do something like gratifying.
Come back when you're ready. Come back again. Train yourself. And I personally will be your mentor.
Just make a persuasion roll.
Oh, you better roll good, because I'm going to be so mad at you if you hurt him.
What's my persuasion?
Look at you.
I got it. Passed it down. All right.
Not good.
I'll make 7.
He looks back at you, and the tears.
No, I'm gonna use luck.
All right.
It's a 20 that one.
Natural 20?
Yes.
He looks at you, the tears welling up in his eyes, kind of blinks them away for a second and sniffles them. "You mean that?"
I do.
Drink it.
I do. You will be my right-hand man. I promise.
Looks over at the rest of you, looks at Percy, looks at Keylith. Tiberius isn't there. Tiberius has already walked into the keep. Looks at Scanlan. Looks at Vexalia, looks at Grog. He grasps the sword that's currently sheathed aside. "I will. I'll make you proud. I will be Vox Machina with you. I swear it. I swear it." And he runs back to his tent, and you see him starts gathering up his things, and he begins tearing it down, and he's pulling it up, and he's kind of like, you can see he's the tears are still coming from beneath his grimace, but he's steeled his expression.
I walk over
intensity
to
and
him.
promise.
All right. These people can't hear this. I kneel down next to him, and I put my hand on his shoulder and say, "I was once like you. I didn't know what I wanted or where I was going. I just want you to be ready. We've got some shit to do. When we come back, we'll start over. You're starting from ground zero. You're starting from the basement. You're gonna work your way up. And I promise you, I will be ready for you no matter what Mercer throws at me. I promise."
Mercer's our god.
Right?
Don't question it. I take him by the hair. Don't question
Kiss
it.
him.
Just come back.
Don't kiss him, he's 16.
Right on his forehead.
Okay. Gathers the rest of his tent and things and kind of pauses, and he's like speechless at this point. You can see he's partially torn between like wanting to look hard and ready to do this, and also still kind of blown away by the fact that he's even encountered you guys after all this time. And he takes the rest of his stuff and holds it in one arm and just darts off down the path towards the river, and then hops over it, and then makes his way towards the rest of Emon and vanishes into the distance.
You know, you might have just sent him to his death.
Why did you have to knock him out?
To go home and train?
Yes, but
We
now
could have
you've
trained him.
We almost died ourselves in that
He could
temple,
have hung
in that
out
pyramid.
He would have expectations in his head.
Are they inside yet?
You guys are probably gonna make
So we should have just made him a
Wait for them at the
full-fledged
entrance.
member today, right now.
Standing facing towards them.
Or made him a butler. He doesn't want to do
As you
that.
guys are having this conversation, you turn into the entrance of the keep, and there standing, arms behind his back, is Tiberius, serious-faced.
Tiberius,
On
what's
the
up?
right of Vax.
Oh.
What's that?
Why did you do that to that young man?
He was not ready.
Stop it! That was aggressive beyond necessity. We should have trialed the boy.
That was his trial.
That was not a trial.
We'll see if he comes back.
You are far more powerful, Vax. You know that. This boy was a fan at best. We could have put him to work or something. I do
And
not
you think
agree.
he would have been happy with work?
Yes, for the time
I'm not
being,
even happy
just
that he told him to
being
go off
here.
and continue training. I think telling him to go and continue training
I
is
have
a
no
bad
idea
idea.
what happened.
He now knows the facts. He knows his skill level. He knows where he stands.
Attacked a young boy who
He will
loved us.
either go back to being a fishmonger, or he will
Son
come...
of a butcher. Son of a butcher.
Son of a butcher, well... Everyone has their own personal path. Or he will come back to me. And if he comes back to me, I will train him. If not, it wasn't meant to be.
And if he
He's
comes for your
fine.
head,
He won't.
Oh, he won't?
will be
I'll
another
deal with
story.
that as well.
Did you never see The Incredibles?
I'm just saying.
Kill Bill.
Vax,
Yes, Tiberius.
you and Grog, I respect and fear the most out of all of us. You are cunning.
What am I?
Strong.
Chop liver?
I could crush you in one blow.
Okay.
You're a
let's leave it.
Vex, I
I
feel
could kill
you
you with
and
my
am
eyes
slightly attracted to you as well. But Grog and Vex, you are the strongest and most noblest and cunning of
You
all
live
of
because I let you live.
Vox Machina.
Let's just say that out
You
loud.
believe what you believe. I'm just saying, when it comes to things, sometimes you really rush into stuff and stop, because, you can just be chill sometimes. Like,
At which point you hear a voice ring out from across the courtyard of the keep.
You've all returned!
And you see across the way, Lena, your joyful housekeeper, comes rushing out, arms open to greet you all. You can see there's a little bit of dirt on the front of her apron, like she's been cutting the hedges or doing some sort of garden work, and she rushes out and hugs each of you.
Oh,
It's been so kind. It's been far too long. It's so good to see all of you.
As I see her, I turn to greet, but I want to give Vax a little pinch in the butt. Like
Okay.
a little friendly pinch.
Little tweak.
Yeah.
Little dragonborn tweak.
Maybe.
Sorry, that reminds me.
Hold on. And she pulls out a little piece of paper. You recognize it. It's used in various arcane messaging. And she kind of pulls out a small quill and dabbles it and starts writing a quick message on it. Closes the lid. It disappears.
what was that?
I'm sorry. I was given that just in case you all returned.
Who gave you that? What was that?
Seeker Assum Emring of the council. The ranger. He said as soon as you all returned, I was supposed to let him know. He had very important business with you.
Maybe from the future, don't do that until we tell you. It's okay to do that.
Right.
Is
No,
it
it's
Taldor
supposed to
over here?
find out.
Seeker Emmering, you said? Of the Council of Taldor.
Yes.
No, he's an ally. He's an
No,
ally.
he's fine. It's just,
okay.
maybe
You
if
work
we
for
wanted to,
us,
take a little nap or something.
Yes,
sorry,
ask
I
us
was-
first.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
My apologies.
It's fine.
I was given implicit instructions
You never
by
know.
him.
All right.
Also,
love
could
you.
you instruct the...
I give her a hug. I'm sorry, I'm very scaly.
Good to see you too, Lord Tiberius Stolman.
Could you instruct the security guard? And we can take care of it, but we should instruct the security guards to... If there's a tent outside the keep, they should just burn it down.
No.
At least inquire and not let it
I
happen
bought
again.
him
I think
biscuits every morning. He was so
kind of
sweet
Yes,
that
You
way.
brought
sweet.
him
We should
biscuits.
not have that
Oh,
happen.
she fed
okay.
him straight.
All right.
That's
No.
adorable.
Do me a favor. Roll up his tent. Keep it inside. If he comes back to ask for
He already
the
rolled up
tent.
his tent.
did he leave anything?
No.
There was like a couple of like small pots and
Leave no
pans and
trace,
things.
man.
that he
Leave
just
no
kinda
trace.
has.
If he comes back, let him in. If I'm not here, let him use my room for as long as he likes, and I'll pay for it.
Okay, it'll be done.
Don't let him
Feeling
use my
guilty
room.
that you knocked him out, bro.
No, I feel perfectly justified.
You shouldn't.
I think you are.
Can we rest before we go see this ranger?
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
All right, you guys make your way into the keep.
Ranger?
Lena immediately rushes off to the kitchen, begins
Maybe I'll
preparing
come here.
a welcome back meal for all of you. You can smell after the next 10-15 minutes pass by, that scent of freshly cooked meats and baking bread begins to fill the air around Grey Skull Keep. The halls are kept nice and warm. It's very clean and is a very welcome sight to be back home. You take time to rest and kind of exhale and go over the sequence. And as you walk by, you see across the right from the main foyer, if you will, you can see a little bit of the light echoing through from the temple to Sarenrae, the stained glass itself. And for a moment, you all kind of take a sad memory of Pike, wherever she is, hopefully to return to you very soon.
It's just not home without her.
Here's the thing, Scanlan. How do you look through your poo? Like, can you look through it anywhere? Or does it have to be from the...
Okay.
If you'd like to...
Did you do the Heimlich?
You know,
No, you're good.
I'm feeling a little bit pike sick right now. I could concentrate very hard.
Just concentrate for a moment and see what she's doing.
Would we be able to see as well?
No, I'd have to describe to you what I see.
Tell us what you see. Unless she's naked, in which case stop looking.
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
And of course, I would definitely stop looking if I saw her naked in front of my poo.
Oh, God.
Definitely.
You okay?
Yeah, sorry.
Sure, I'm going to try to scry through my poo.
I would be naked.
Okay. You sit down and close your eyes and begin to concentrate.
Is this first?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you begin to focus your energy, the sense of the arcane mind itself is gathered between the center of the head and the center of the chest. You begin to join these in the center, and your consciousness begins to glide downward towards your bowels. Eventually, you find a point of connection, and you feel your vision transcending the single point on the prime material plane. You are brought through the small channel across the astral sea to connect, and suddenly your vision takes place. What looks like a cluster of dirt to one side, and a darkened chamber that is lit by a series of torches. Before you, you see, still and slightly muddled, the Temple of Sarenrae is partially uncovered. You can see the large stone archway that is the front of the partially collapsed temple. You can see now there is stone being brought down the wooden staircase, and it is being used to slowly build up and reconstruct what was once a beautiful and very well revered structure. You can see in the distance a small, kind of light, white-haired gnome figure that is currently kind of acting as foreman for this whole construction process and is giving orders and shouts to the other individuals here.
Oh, sorry.
Glancing about, you see her step over, and one person kind of trips and drops a stone, and she walks up to them and takes them by the shoulder and lifts them back up and gives them a little hug, and then picks up the stone and carries it with them over to where it belongs on the side of one of the walls.
Fired that person, but okay.
A few more moments pass, and you gather this is a slow moving but a consistent moving renovation of the Temple of Sarenrae based on the limited number of people that she has at her disposal to help with the process. But it seems to be going well.
What'd you see?
She was definitely naked.
Really?
No, she was supervising her crew in a fair but firm way, and she was just being Pike-driven, radiant, beautiful, and empowered by the spirit of Sarenrae. She's everything that we think of her and more. She's beautiful and charming, and let's just let it be known that I could kill Tiberius if I wanted to. I'm just gonna say that.
It's fine. Yes, you can, Scanlan.
Yes, but I mean that's beside the point. Pike was glorious and wonderful and confident, and I miss her so much. And I hope from time to time I can look in on her.
Anytime you want.
Look through your shit.
Well, it's any bodily fluid. I could bleed. I could piss. I could barf.
Oh, anytime ever?
Ever?
Is it like in your
bod?
Vax body all the time.
Vax pulls out his flask and raises it.
Gradual fade to the effect.
I'm raising my flask and I say, to Pike.
To Pike.
Pike.
To Pike.
The best in all of us.
She really was, and is.
And is.
Our own little inspirational poster inside each and every
She
one
doesn't
of
like
us.
little, but yes, okay.
As you all drink, a familiar voice echoes from across the hallway.
Pike?
Your food is ready, everyone.
And you see Erwin Dastel, your elderly halfling manservant, is there standing in his attire, smiling, happy to see you all.
Lena would like you all to know that your meal is ready. This way, please.
Thank you. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddies.
He leads you to the dining hall. The food is already prepared. You sit down to eat. Your meal is very welcome. It's the best food you've had in a while. Very like comparable Southern comfort food. Like it's just gravy, biscuits. It's
Fried
beautiful.
chicken. Fried chicken.
It's delightful. A little ways into the meal, you can see Cordell steps into the room and kind of glances in for a second.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have a visitor.
Is it a counselor from Taldore?
It is, the halfling.
Invite him in for dinner.
Cool. Does he want some fried chicken?
Yes.
I could ask. Please
Tell him
do.
if he's okay with us being a little tipsy.
Are we still drunk? No, we're not drunk.
Well, I figured we just kind of kept going.
I'm not drunk. I drink water.
He steps off.
We just toasted the pike.
A moment comes by, and you see Seeker Asim Emmering arrives into the doorway. You can see him. You know, he's wearing dark, looks like studded leather armor, a very very deep green cloak about his shoulders. Even at the council meetings, he's dressed for utility. And he seems to be that individual who has his eye in many places in the room at once. He's a ranger by trade and paranoid by nature. His head is shaved bald, and he has tattoos across one side of his halfling face. And as he walks in, he kind of gives a swift bow and says to everyone, "Greetings, I'm sorry to interrupt your meal. I was notified that you have arrived, and, business I would like to discuss if you have a moment."
Oh, is it bad news?
Would you like a salad?
We're not in the mood for
I'm
bad
feeling
news.
I'm all right. It's not bad news. It's just something I wanted to run by the rest of you.
Please feel free to speak.
All right.
He steps in, finds a chair at one of the nearby tables, kind of clustered towards the center where you guys have pushed your dining tables together. Now, while you were gone, a venture has been put into motion. In celebration of the agreed-upon construction of a grand bridge across the shearing channel to the eastern continent of Wynandir, a dinner is being held here within a week. This venture is helmed by one Lord and Lady Briarwood of Whitestone, as the bridge would be set at the edge of the Alabaster Sierras. They are probably en route as we speak. Now, the bridge shall open trade routes with the Kingdom of Wildmount across the way. Now, I'm here because few things escape my eye. Percival, when last we were company, you had shifted so very uncomfortably at the mention of these two. I ask why.
Had I? I hadn't noticed.
I did.
Very noticeable. I'm sorry.
I've had dealings with them before. I find them untrustworthy.
I have my reservations as well.
You should.
My network has been watching their acquisition of Whitestone since the Dorolo family fell to disease, and there are far more questions than answers. I've sent operatives to inquire, but each has sent me a letter of resignation, instead of choosing to stay within Whitestone under my employ. Now, our sovereign requested that I extend an invitation to this coming dinner, per your request to him, Percy, to you, Vox Machina. I'm here to ask if you will attend, and if so, if I can trust you to keep an eye while I do my work.
Let's say, Percy.
That's Percy's call.
Yes, we will attend.
Very good. I will contact you in the next few days, and we shall discuss further. Until then, enjoy the rest of your meal. And thank you. He sits up from his feet.
We're having bread pudding for dessert now.
I'm good, thank you.
When did you say this dinner was taking place?
A week?
In about a week, they should be arriving.
Well, excuse me, I have a
Like
bit of work
7
to do
days in a week?
downstairs.
Go to Craghammer and back?
Maybe 7 days in a week, or
Absolutely.
like in a week, like 5 days.
Like, they're expected to arrive within the next 5 to 7 days. The dinner is set for 7 to 8 days from now.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Wonderful. That should give us time.
Thank you for your information.
Of course.
We shall
Percy.
discuss further.
I've already.
Oh, what is the attire for the event?
Percy's gone.
Is it
As formal as one may muster. If you do not have suitable attire, it will be provided, but please do notify the council.
Oh, I can lend you one of my jackets.
I'd like to see what they produce.
I don't really do formal, so.
We have the
Don't
fancy
worry,
monk
Grog, we have a
robes.
wonderful tailor.
It's a fancy clothes in the
In
The
your
fancy
bag of
robes.
holding.
Like two left in 50.
Two of
Who
them
can
would.
figure this out amongst
We
yourselves?
will.
I have
Yes.
business to attend to.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
good night.
Thank you,
We'll
Councilman.
be there, thank you.
Of course. And with that, he turns around and leaves. And it's one of those individuals where as he walks away, and this catches your eye in particular, for a moment you have to admire the fact that he takes not but 2 steps, and for a second you swear he was walking, had about 15 feet to the door, and he's just gone.
He's good.
And with that, we shall end tonight's
Oh, but I want to talk to Percy.
I know we don't
have to pick that up next week.
just ran off to the basement to his workshop.
I did.
session. We'll pick up directly from this moment next week, and you are more than welcome to go have counsel with
Guys,
Percy.
I feel like
to
we
your-
need to have a conversation
your
with
heart's
Percy.
content.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
So Percy, do you want to strike off in a random direction and just go and go and go?
So, so that money that we're owed.
Yeah.
Let's,
We'll have enough time for that. We'll have enough time for that.
I think we have time for that.
Oh
Maybe
man.
we can send an
We're
errand
back,
boy.
guys. We're back.
Yay!
Hey, what's up, everybody? So we've got some donation names to read through. Once again, guys, we will be reading off the names, but we don't have time to read all the messages. Those will be collected and printed off for these guys to see later, but just wanted to make sure you have a thank you for that. And sorry there was a problem with Twitch alerts at the beginning of the show tonight, and it took us a little bit to get that working. So if you tried donating earlier, it is working now, and feel free to do so.
Yeah, all appreciated. I forgot to mention earlier too, guys, through the chaos, but we also have a new temporarily available shirt.
Oh, yes!
Is that true?
Oh my god, we didn't talk about
I
it.
know, through all the chaos.
Idiots.
I know.
talk about
We'll
it
talk about
now.
more as it goes on.
We had a little
Should work.
animation on the screen. People know about it. It's
Cool.
They know,
okay,
the
it's
critters
fine.
know. They've been
Yeah.
Crittering about
fan-
it.
crittering about
A
it.
fantastic
crittering.
fan design, and a phrase that is caught on time and time again, that the hashtag is it Thursday yet. So that shirt is up for a temporary time. If you like it,
Thanks. It was Kenneth, right?
Fan spawn.
Kenneth designed it
his
for us.
design, but
But it was Danny, I think, that
he
was the
plucked the idea from
7?
we
Maybe
have
7?
a few
yes, from 7.
a few fans have had it picked up. I think it was Danny that originally kind of started the trend on Twitter.
It'll be up
so.
for 14 days total, so you've got 2 weeks to pick up the shirt.
Yeah,
I'm
check it out,
ordering
guys.
one.
If you like it, get one.
All right.
Before it's gone.
So we're
All
starting
right, so
here.
Here. All right. Norculad donated $50. Thank you so much, Norculad. Wheelie Factoids returns once again with a $50 donation. Thank you so much, Wheelie. That's amazing. Fabrizio132 donated $50 again. 350s in a row. Well done, guys. Thank you so much, Fabrizio. 404 Unvalid File Name returns with a $25 donation. Thank you, 404. Burning Sun donated $30. Thank you, Burning Sun. I hope you're not actually burning. Descend from Grace returns with a $25 donation. Thank you so much, Descend from Grace. My Left Knee donated $20 to make the right knee jealous. Thank you so much. Heart of Handprints donated $20. Thank you, Heart of Handprints. Salazar Jack donated $50. Thank you so much, Salazar. Fantastic donation. This is Boner Town returns with a $10 donation. I think some of you guys met Boner Town.
Das ist Boner Town!
Yes, he was a gentleman and a scholar.
He
and
was so
nice.
nice.
Nice gentleman.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Boner Town. Dark Gara Sand donated $100. I wonder whose fan they are here, Liam. Thank you so much, Dark Gara Sand. Lon Solo donated $10. Thank you, Lon. The Mikkel donated $30. Thank you so much, the Mikkel. Colina Zix, I keep messing it up, and I'm sorry if I do. Donated $31.96. Thank you so much, Colina. Chronicle donated $40. Thank you, Chronicle. That's fantastic. 7-Bit Brian donated $5. Thank you, Brian. MSV505 donated $20. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Ancient Rays donated $30. Negihama donated $100. You guys are both fantastic. Negihama, good to hear from you again. You've done ridiculous things on this show already. Quinny8592 donated $100 as well. Thank you so much, Quinny. That's fantastic. Zixbit 1200 donated $40. Thank you. Or is it Exhibit? Exhibit 1200. I can
Exhibit.
read. Push your donation with your donations. You can donate while you donate. Nalia Levain donated $50. Thank you so much, Nalia. That's amazing. Beard Check donated $20. Thank you. The Mikhail donated $25. Again, thank you, the Mikhail. Killer Penguin donated $20 towards 826. Thank you guys so much. Brian can't log into Twitch. Again, donated $50. Thank you so much, Brian. Bad Panda Bear donated $200.
Oh!
What?
That's amazing, Bad Panda Bear. Thank you so much.
A panda.
Genie2343 donated $60, which was fantastic. JD2319 donated $25. Thank you so much, JD. Good to see you again. Redalus donated $50. Thank you again for tuning in and donating, Redalus. Deliman Heckergood. Deliman Heckergood donated $65.90. Thank you, and I'm sorry for butchering your name. I tried my best.
Thank you.
Killer Penguin came back again with another $10 donation. Thank you, Killer Penguin. Kirkaresh donated $100. Thank you, Kirkaresh. That's... Elenine20 donated $30, and QDV donated $20. You guys are both in my heart. Thank you so much. Gelatinous Dude returns with a $20 donation, which is fantastic. Zolvamir donated $25. Thank you, Zolvamir. JPC Guy 89 donated $26.18. Much appreciated. Promised Angel donated $25. All the love.
Thank you.
And is that it? That's it. Guys, thank you so much. It's amazing. Every week, continuously blown away. You guys are incredible.
And if you guys go to 826LA's Twitter, you'll see the picture with you guys handing over the check. Go check that out, favorite, and share it, which will continue to show support for 826LA. It's a really great photo, and you guys should check it out. We have a winner too tonight, Malakory.
Malakory, congratulations!
So Malakory, you won one of those wonderful 826LA books and a signed print and all that great stuff.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Well done. And I had one more thing I wanted to talk about before you guys got to gifts, and it's going to bring it down just a little bit.
That's
but we
okay.
had some people tweeting in and requesting that we talk about it. So today is officially World Suicide Prevention Day.
Right.
And we wanted to bring that up on the show just because I know a lot of our fans and viewers have written into us before about going through hard times and things like that.
Today, even.
Yeah. It's a constant problem, and I think you guys should go to iasp.info if you need some more information and data on how you can help those that are close to you or yourself. And we are always here for you at Team Human and Critters, but we are not professional help, so please seek professional help if you need so, and we shouldn't speak on that behalf. So check out iasp.info if you need any help or more information.
Please do. You're in our hearts, and
We love you so much.
This is exactly the wonderful type of group that can be of aid in those dark times, far more than we could ever hope to. But we appreciate all your guys' feedback. Go check them out, and much love to you all. And we're gonna be getting to another group of gifts here. We're getting to a point now where we're gonna wind this down on the stream because we're getting too many gifts. Which is weird to say.
We're working it out, though.
Can I show one?
You may.
I got a gift on behalf of Gilmore. It's very nice.
Oh, really?
Might be a little big for me, but the sentiment
Oh,
is
really?
pure. Ready, everyone?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Mercy, you can show him how to make the fancy shirts. You can turn that into a fancy
That's
shirt.
awesome.
Yeah, he can turn it into
Yeah, we've gotten to a point now where it would be a whole nother stream for us to open these gifts. So we're going to be starting as soon as we have the chance to get everything situated, a P.O. box where you can mail gifts directly to Vox Machina as opposed to having to weigh down the entire Geek and Sundry Twitch stage here. And then we will thank you on the stream by name, but we will probably be opening gifts as a separate Periscope when we have our company meetings. Which means we can take our time with it, we can read the letters, we can be more appreciative and not feel like we're rushed at the end of this stream late night when we're trying to get home. So tonight we're gonna do gifts. We might do gifts one or two more times until we can get all that out of here and then focus on the P.O. box going forward. So just be prepared for that so we can spend more time thanking you and really appreciating it with you guys.
So I would love to mention before we get to gifts,
Yes.
I'm not English anymore. The game's over.
Shake it away.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Get out, Percy. Get out.
Is that a bunch of us got to go to 826LA earlier today to shoot some footage, and hopefully we'll be able to show that to you soon. It was Matt, Marisha, Ryan, and I all went down and had this really intense, incredible, fabulous experience.
So great.
And we felt really, really bad that the rest of the team didn't get to have this experience because it was so specific. So
We missed you guys.
we missed you guys a lot. So we got a little goodie bag, and 826 has a store connected to it, which is a time travel mart. where they
It's
sell
awesome.
various weird things that time travelers could need.
Tchotchkes.
Tchotchkes and fun little pieces of art and books.
Yes.
And so we all got together and we picked up something for everybody who didn't get to be there. So I would like to have our own internal Christmas very quickly.
Yes!
Internal Christmas.
Makes me happy.
82678.
Start with okay. Let's start on the end. So we got Grog some robot emotion rage, so that now
Yes.
you can have electronic rage anytime you like.
Just plug it in.
Just plug it in.
Bonus action to install.
That's amazing. A bonus action to install.
I can't
that's so
believe they
good.
have this sort of stuff. This is
They
so
have
cool.
phenomenal stuff.
Oh, it's
For
so great.
for Laura, we got you the Richard M. Nixon Service Medal for Chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
She does have
He
the
has
most
a lot of
chutzpah.
chutzpah.
You've got the most chutzpah.
She is a focus of
And
chutzpah.
see the card.
I know you.
Hold it up.
Such chutzpah.
Thank you.
I didn't know I had that in there.
Oh my
all of them
god.
did. For Liam, we got you a bottle of famous last words. Your poor decision making is eventually going to get you killed.
Save some for later. Save some for later.
Save it for later. Oh, what brand is that, out of curiosity?
A dying man can do nothing easy.
That's so amazing.
Wow.
And
1790.
Yep.
for Burt Reynolds, we got some mustache wax.
Yeah.
Hold it up in front of your face.
Is that a mustache wax? Yeah.
And then
so delightful.
for the do you want to help me with this?
Yes, absolutely. For all of our behind the scenes people, Ryan, come here.
Ryan.
For those of you who don't know, there are amazing people who work tirelessly.
Tirelessly.
Tirelessly. We are a pain in the ass for Geek and Sundry
There he is.
because they're
There's
high
Ryan.
production value. But
Ryan.
you, because you are Zach's beast of burden, we got you a beast of burden air freshener.
Llama scented.
Llama scented.
Oh, does
I know
it
the
smell
smell of
amazing?
llama well. Smells just like llamas.
You know, it's a good beast of burden to have, a llama.
And
So, yes.
Ryan, we're all right. Ryan,
Ryan.
we're all grateful
wait,
to
do
you
you
here too.
Yes, we
are,
love
yes.
you, Ryan.
We love you so much.
Ryan's
Fuck
the
off,
best,
Ryan.
you guys. Ryan's the best. And where's Lucas?
Is he here still?
Lucas.
Yes, he's here. He has to be.
Let him out of the box.
Hey!
Hey, Lucas.
There he is.
All right,
There's
back
the
in
man.
box.
Because you have to deal
your exercise.
once again with the Overlord, and because unfortunately you don't normally get to share in Grog's ale and mead, we thought we would get you Breath Ruiner in the scent of grotty mead.
Oh.
What's that
Guaranteed to ruin
Grotty
breath.
mead.
Oh,
It's
is
just
this like a-
good. It makes your breath smell like shitty mead.
So that when you time travel, everybody knows that you're actually
Everybody.
It belongs
That's
in that
so
time
useful.
period.
Is it awful?
And
Disgusting.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
It's ready meat.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Well, you just got back from Burning Man.
he also, yeah, true.
For our
Grotty mead out there.
Overlord.
we
Overlord
love.
Zach.
Zach.
Zachary,
It's your turn, monsieur.
look at that
Yes,
smile.
yes.
Who we love very much.
That guy.
And I have to say,
That
Zach
guy.
works
love
Zach
Zach
works
so
so
right.
hard on this show to
Terminally
produce the show, and we love
Wait,
him.
sorry. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Zach giving us
Yeah.
Being our overlord.
He's
being
awesome.
our Overlord. Since you were here so long and never get to go home, we thought we would get you Viking odorant for Vikings who care how they smell.
What odor is it? It's cod.
Cod.
Does it smell like fish?
What is
It smells quite good,
It's a very good
Sounds
fish.
good.
honestly.
Actually, it's all right. It's all right. This is
Pretty
actually
good.
that could
It's
work.
pretty good.
Misnomer. Vikings
you
don't
go.
smell that bad.
No, it's really bad.
I need it too. I've been here for 13 hours now, so
Oh shit.
There you go.
need it.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, okay. But yes, there's some fun things that the
So,
time travel mark gives you.
Many things that you can purchase at the time travel
fun,
market.
fun
Indeed.
tchotchkes. I like them.
You can buy
And different
boxes of
theme for every
nanobots.
city.
Beautiful, awesome.
So this letter was sent to us by the wonderful
Yes, my shirt.
gentleman that sent us these amazing
Oh my God.
glasses and our deliciousness.
Oh man.
But
that booze
I just have to
tonight.
point out that he wax sealed the letter with a Vox Machina wax seal.
Wait,
Wait,
What?
what?
Do we all have one of those?
I don't
Wow,
know.
that's really cool.
Fantastic.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
No shit. That's awesome.
He was responsible for sending us amazing
Yeah.
amazing
I know
stuff.
what this is.
This is
And
awesome.
cigars.
Chicagoland
Oh,
Cigar
this
Company.
is from Jim Donis,
Yeah.
Killer Penguin.
Thank
Today's
you.
show
Thank you
is
so
brought
much.
to you by
I know.
Killer Penguin.
Killer Penguin.
It's a Killer
Thank you,
Penguin.
Killer
We shall next time we have our Periscope gift opening scenario, we'll read these letters
Absolutely.
aloud that
When
we
we're in
can.
Chicago, we'll look you up, Jim.
Yep.
And I do remember you, Jim, from Gen Con, by the way.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much.
That's
Once
what
again,
happens at Gen Con
a kingly
stays
gift.
at
Stays at Gen Con.
Kingly gift. All right, let's see what we can tear through here. Okay, we got stuff.
More shit.
All right. Oh, this is from Megan.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
me too.
I got
Megan?
mine. So
Megan,
good.
Megan gave us jewelry.
Hi, Megan.
She made it.
Yeah, Megan.
Oh my God! Holy shit, Megan!
Fantastic. Thank you.
Crazy.
Megan's an awesome, amazing letter.
Got a shield and an axe and a piece of a tree that says, "I would like to
Oh
rage,
my God.
also ale."
Thank you so much,
got an
Megan.
amazing
We're gonna read this letter when we get
necklace.
the opportunity to
Look at
do
this.
that
You
on
got a
the
pin too?
Periscope.
Yeah, I got a little pin badge.
Oh, this is spectacular.
Thank you, Megan.
Cute.
Thank you. This is awesome.
Megan, we see all your messages.
Yes,
We
we
do.
do.
You're awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're awesome. Oh, look, it's like a cool
Oh,
little...
this is so
It's like
pretty.
a choker.
This thing is pretty neat. This is so...
Ooh.
Oh wow.
You did well. Oh wow.
It's got a little D12 on it, and oh, it's got like a tiny hourglass.
Oh,
Oh, like this is gonna be 12 on it too.
I don't want to touch it.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Megan.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, and it's got a little bottle.
Check it.
Bottle on this one.
Oh, that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
With the
That's
cameo.
Oh, I know.
So cool. Rad.
That's a cameo.
Risha.
Obviously a cameo of
Risha.
the younger sister.
Did you open one?
It's the most
I opened mine for
wonderful time
Awesome.
of
Yeah.
the week.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yay.
Alrighty.
Man, Christmas is serious, you guys.
You guys
I also
really-
got an amazing trinket figurine that we can paint,
crap, that's
which
awesome.
I'm very excited about.
Awesome.
I'm gonna put this on one of my clubs.
Everybody realizes there will eventually be a Christmas.
Or a having a very merry Christmas.
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 Or
No. Christmas episode.
We will have
Picnica.
a Yuletide tree on this set, I hope.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
D20s.
I was gonna say we can make D20 garland.
Yeah.
That'd be so cute.
Oh, absolutely a Yuletide tree here in the month.
Oh yeah,
gonna have to
absolutely.
happen.
And we can put potion bottles on it.
We have an amazing letter from K Strong, aka Ducky, that we will read together after the show, but has sent specifically a what looks like a receipt and/or a letter from Gilmore's Glorious Goods to Mr. Shorthalt.
Oh.
a receipt.
To
What?
Mr. Shorthalt or to Mr.
Yes.
Shorthalt?
Yeah, which short halt?
Yeah, the real?
That's true. The real
imposter.
Well, the real short halt, please.
It says, we here at Gilmore's Glorious Goods strive for the highest standards in customer service and satisfaction. Based on your recent purchasing history, you've proven yourself a connoisseur of the unique and singular magics. As such, we would like to recommend the following enchantments. Of course, all recommendations made based upon the histories in no way in Gilmore's Glorious Goods.
He does that for a living.
And so that is a receipt for these.
It is a receipt for your.
For these enchantments.
I get
Oh my
enchantments?
God.
Apparently, these are spells that have been...
Wheels.
Lord Farron's Fighting Coiffure. 5th level enchantment.
Good job.
You create a sleek, perfectly casual hairstyle that will maintain its form for 48 hours. Giving you
Allow
+3 to deception and +2 to persuasion. And +2 to AC. It says so right there, DM. Sorry.
I'll think it over.
Burt's Porn Stash, 5th level. Lasts 10 minutes. You create a magnificent mustache of imposing cold black pimpness above your upper lip. Oh my god, this is amazing. Creatures must make a charisma saving throw and have disadvantage on all melee attacks versus the sheer awesomeness of the porn stash.
I like that one a lot.
Also, there's just a nice picture of spell going
Your
places.
choice.
It's not an altar spell.
I like these.
Alright.
Maybe these could be modified and fit into the game somehow.
Do
I'll
you
see
know,
what I can do.
I really, Lord Farron's Fighting Coiffure is good, but it's not quite as good as Mercer's Magic Mullet.
Wow.
I won't cut you.
I'm gonna
Hey,
cut you.
it's party in the back, business up front.
Is that?
This ain't short in the front, motherfucker.
That is in no way.
We also have awesome.
Mike is ready.
Mike, awesome DM artwork which came in.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yes, you as an elf.
Awesome.
What's in your
and
head?
some awesome Snuggle Lord artwork.
Oh, that's so metal.
Why does he?
Snuggle Lord, Snuggle Lord.
Right out of prison.
It's like prison.
Check it out.
That's fantastic. Right there, you got your Snuggle Lord artwork waiting for you, buddy. You got some love. Thank you so much. That's amazing,
It's
K-Strong.
still not gonna be nearly as
Ducky.
frightening as that damn pillow.
And when's it coming?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Wait,
that
This is. I also gotta say this
it of
came
you?
from Mike from
Yeah.
Treebeard in the chat room.
Oh, Treebeard.
Treebeard.
We can all take pictures like.
What?
Oh, it works.
What?
It's okay.
With the rotating barrel.
With the
Working
cold
pepper
barrel and the
box.
hot barrel.
With the secondary barrel for a tri-barrel set. Oh my god, it's like
You got another gun?
So awesome.
I got a gun with changeable. Oh my god, it's fabulous.
Oh, it spins?
Oh, and he put the names on them too. Oh yeah. It's going down this week, man. Oh,
That's amazing.
That's fantastic. Damn. You guys.
I'm going to annoy my girlfriend so much with this.
Wait, hold on a sec. But oh, I see.
Oh no, that too. But no.
Anyway.
Sorry.
You're a terrible person.
All right.
I know.
I know. It's okay.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Please find enclosed 25 handmade by me Critical Role leather key rings for your amazing cast, crew, and guests so you don't lose your keys when out on a quest.
What?
If there are any left, please feel free to use for a giveaway or something. If we could use a shout out for the Odin's Forge Etsy shop, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for being my friend, my Friday morning entertainment at work. Much hugs, Claire at Kitten Pork. Thank you so much, Claire. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Check that out, guys.
Oh, shit.
Multicolored, leather pressed,
Do
critical.
we get to
Role-
choose what color we want?
You do.
Oh, and I want a red one.
These shall be distributed post haste.
That's amazing.
What was the name of our Etsy shop? Odin's Forge?
Hold on, Dan gets first pick.
Oh, is this a purple one?
That's true. That's true.
Is there a green one?
Oh, is there like
Is
a
there
tealish
color?
one?
Yeah, is there all of our colors in there?
I believe there might be.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
crap.
ridiculous,
the blue
Claire.
one.
Thank you so much.
That looks like.
And a shout out to Odin's Forge. Thank you
Another
guys.
one for Tiberius. Ooh, there's a darker one for you, Tiberius.
What is this, keychains?
Yeah,
Keychain.
this is so cool.
Wow. I'm putting it on my keys right now.
You're putting your keys on
Do I have to get
it.
any keys? I do.
We have keys.
Our powers combined.
Our powers combined.
Never gonna lose my keys now.
Never gonna lose our keys.
First a key ring, then a tattoo.
We're never gonna let you down.
Wait.
What the?
All right.
I gotta just make sure.
Oh, we have some awesome handwritten letter here from Stephen Kane. Aradin.
Kane?
Read it on the periscope.
Kane.
Oh,
Stephen Kane.
ladies and gentlemen, Stephen King has
Thank
written
you
us
so
a letter.
much, Stephen.
We promise we'll
this
get
is
to it.
this is
I love
this is
it.
going to be read by us as soon as
Okay.
we get to be able to read these letters at our next meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
I'm not gonna keep both. I just want to check them out.
Let me see what's up there. Put these here. Make sure these don't get lost. Alrighty.
Here you are.
We also have. Oh, this person gave a full background from looks like John Elkins. They have a full history of his Minotaur character. It looks like, which is awesome. With a printout of his
play a
character's
Minotaur?
abilities. Someone actually sent us their entire character and back history.
That's
That is
awesome.
awesome. Thank you so much, John. Let me go ahead and get a look at that. Oh my god. Okay, let me catch up here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we can do this. We can do this. We'll do this. All right. For mat size only, read privately.
Read privately.
I shall.
7.
What?
What is it?
What?
What is it? What the what?
Oh, is it?
Is it another dragon?
Oh shit.
So you folks remember that the center of the temple,
Yeah.
the Illithid temple,
Yeah, the elder brain thing.
like my little cheesy foam
Yeah.
shit and everything. Well, someone went ahead and recreated it.
What? Whoa! Wait, what is that?
With
With the elder
there in the middle. cages where Kavarn had held its experiments.
Holy crap!
This is probably the coolest thing anyone's ever made from one of my maps. I don't know what to do. That's crazy. I sat and drew this in my living room.
Get
and now
used
you
to it.
made
The brain's in there?
Yeah!
It's
like in there.
We should hang it on the wall.
Heck yeah, man.
It's kind of hangable. It's totally hangable.
We can just
It's
fix
totally
that little
hangable,
corner.
yeah.
That's dope.
Oh, if you guys ever end back here, we know what we're gonna use.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're not
That's
gonna
incredible.
be
You know who
back
made
there.
this?
Cow.
I don't want to go back.
Never.
Thank
There is no going
Was
back.
that
It may have been that.
been from Elkins? I don't know. Whoever sent this to me, tweet me.
Thank
So I
you.
can thank you because this is amazing and I don't know what to do with myself now.
was me.
This is so much.
That was on top, I believe.
Oh, this here? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, ha. I should look at things. How about that? Oh, it's an awesome letter. From the Dungeon Lords.
Dungeon
Aw.
Lords.
That's so cool. Brandon and David. They have their cell numbers here, which I will not read on the air.
818.
Oh shit, there's something in it.
818 Brandon.
What's in there?
I don't know.
Oh my god. They.
Poo,
What?
it's glowing poo.
Oh my god, you got glowing poo!
The blue shit.
I just whispered in his ear.
I got a jar of blue shit.
That's
It's
awesome.
magical. It's magical blue poo.
Look.
That's amazing.
What? Does it smell like
It smells authentic.
Wait, why were you looking in the thing?
What do you got?
Because they also installed an LED under the Elder Brain, so it glows. Because they're ridiculous.
Can you turn it on? Can we see it?
That's
Can
incredible.
you turn it on? Is there batteries?
What the fuck?
I got an amazing letter from Ronnie, aka Certified Hooligan, which I will read later. Thank you so much.
Oh my god.
But I did get it.
We got, so you and I both got jewelry from 7 Purple Ninjas Jewelry.
Yes, which I haven't. Oh, mine's funny. It says an elemental necklace for the Druid Royal, who isn't great in a crowd, but who can commune the crap out of some nature.
Whoa.
Me and my nature communes.
I got a bit of gold for the Graceful Ranger, and it says I will find a small memento of my faithful friend, just in case Sir Mercer is evil enough to kill him in battle.
cool.
Which I hope doesn't happen. Whoa, this is so cool!
What's
Oh,
your-
wow!
Look it!
I got like a big crystal.
Oh, tell me there's a picture
Oh,
of Trinket on the inside. Tell me. There is! It's a
Oh
trinket!
my god.
Oh, that's so cool! You're awesome.
Oh, I got a green and gold. Oh, that dice is awesome.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I got one too.
Got like gold fleckies in it.
Wow, this makes me so happy.
Oh, this is
Daryl, we got your
awesome.
card.
Thank you,
so
Daryl.
much.
Dara sent fan art for us of our characters.
But really awesome.
Really beautiful.
We
Dara,
love your art, man.
Yeah.
It's so stylish.
I was too busy reading his awesome note.
Speaking of which, also sent a bunch of these great pieces here.
Oh, there's the original. Oh, wow.
Oh,
These are all
are those like prints?
the originals here. Looks like, yeah, these are the actual original pieces.
Those are awesome.
We have the Lemley art over here for
Oh,
Laura.
he does. He does the original.
Oh, yay!
I have
the original
those in
pieces.
mine, DM.
So great.
Whoa.
Your art is amazing, by the way.
That's so good.
Holy cow.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh my god, I want to get them
Oh,
all.
I
Oh,
love
the
that.
Staffy.
I love
Dara,
that.
you gave us the
Oh,
originals?
Dara!
Oh, is that the original
Dara
selfie
gave us
pic?
the originals.
Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you.
Oh, Dara.
Yeah.
Mandate.
Oh my
Mandate.
gosh. We're gonna have to frame these.
Yes. Yeah.
You have your portfolio.
I have
The portfolio's here. They can go
and
on
I
the
have, but I have the framer that I go to for that I did the map. I can frame something.
Yeah,
That one is
Oh,
for
these
the
pieces are so
Staffy,
good.
definitely.
Oh. Dara,
That's
Dara, we are so legitimately touched that you would part with the original ones. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
insane.
Thank you.
And I just read your note, and I'll read it out loud later. But thank you so much for everything that you wrote.
We'll read them later, we swear.
Well,
You're so amazing.
We-
Thank you.
Dara, you're awesome.
we did get your package, Dara. So I'm letting you know on air that we got it. And you're ridiculous, and no worries about not handwriting it.
Ridiculous.
Look at that.
You're, oh my god.
You're so amazing.
These are all going in the scrapbook.
Where's mine?
I got a letter from Pike. That's who sent the poo. I doubt it's Ashley, but it's maybe from Pike.
Says, Scanlan, I found something that I suspect belongs to you. I don't think I'm even going to ask what it's about. You'll be happy to know it gave the acolytes quite a start. I'm returning it to you in case you find a better use for it. Perhaps another illithid will need blinding. Try not to get in too much trouble. See you soon, Pike.
Aww.
And it's Pooh.
It's Pooh.
Aww.
And a big thank you to whoever sent all the
retconned your
Hero Forge
scribe.
minis of us.
So cool.
Awesome.
You guys are so amazing.
Grog's got a beard in this one.
Does he?
Yes. A little beard.
Okay.
It's an image of what will never be.
So I've more dice from this. You guys open these from the 7 Purple Ninjas?
Yeah.
Right? Got
That's
more.
what my locket was from.
That's awesome. We got more also dice here that we can give away probably to some of you guys who don't have them.
7 Purple Ninjas.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh my god. All right.
You guys are so crazy.
All right. We have an awesome letter here. What? All right. So we have a thank you for the white dragon hunt, and so they sent a dragon egg.
Yeah!
Oh my gosh!
It's from Lucinda from the UK. Thank you so much, Lucinda.
That's awesome.
We're gonna hatch this mother.
Just mean
That's
to
ridiculous.
set fire to the building. Okay, no, never mind. I'm good. I'm good.
That is awesome, guys. We have a dragon egg. Let's probably put with the white dragon.
Nothing.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much.
I have fire
That's so
building.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
All right. We have here. Oh, what? Saw from this?
Is it another nude?
What? All right, we have a letter here from Ben Wright. Bet Wright Human. I'm terrible at reading handwriting. I really apologize.
Yeah.
Ben Wright Human.
Right, human.
Mew Solo in the chat. I'm probably ruining that as well. No, Mew Solo in the chat room. So thank you so much, Ben, from BWH Comics, who has sent a bunch of prints. This is the Travis.
What?
Actually, this is the whole cast here for this. These you can pass out for all the rest of them.
What?
These are the pieces here.
They're like signed individually, I think, on the back.
Yep. That's so awesome.
Holy
What?
You what, mate?
Look at that coolness.
Oh wait, this one's for Kashaw. Oh, it's
This is during the split. This is the two different parties.
two different parties.
One chasing him down.
So
Oh my
cool.
god, us
That is
running
amazing.
from the giant boulder and into D20.
Hey, it's
So good.
It's Percy's butt flap.
This is
It's my butt flap. Oh.
And it's
Oh
me
my
listening
God.
to stupid Lyra. I mean, beautiful Lyra, who I love.
That's so cool.
Amazing. Thank you. So
I'm just making sure his weapon works.
Yeah, of
Thank you
course.
so much.
That's so cool.
Sausahedron.
You're amazing.
Wow.
That's what these are?
Yeah,
There will
these
never
are
be an end to the butt flap
Motherfuckers, I know
pajamas.
that
Butt flap pajamas are the best.
Cool. Tab to open.
Thank you for educating me.
Oh my god.
Did you write every quote for everybody in the back? Is that what-
Yeah.
I love Derpy Will Wheaton. Being like
Being chased by a one.
He wrote little. They wrote messages in the back of in character. For
Look
each
how
of these.
sexy Kashaw is, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would say
I like
Yeah.
my hair
Look
here.
at that.
You know, flying away from giant. How do you do that? Isosahedrons?
Isosahedron.
Isosahedrons.
Say it with me now.
Isosahedrons. Trying
Oh,
to
it's
crush this. It's
isosahedron?
actually yeah.
Ecosahedron.
See, I
Got
love it
it.
too. It's actually running from it is from getting crushed. It's actually quite fun. Whee!
Isosahedron. Dodecahedron?
Light.
It's a 12-sided die.
Isosahedron.
Dodecahedron.
It's a 12-sided die is a dodecahedron.
This is a
Dodeca is 12.
And
Isosahedron is kind of just like the
Triangles.
general term.
To be what was within, but I feel like they're more the referring to, unless I'm absolutely crazy.
Look at it. There's 19. So
Which is very possible.
No, it is because
Well,
it's also
no,
a
I mean
triangle.
it's
I know, I'm just
definitely a
kidding.
I'm
D20.
probably missing things.
It's fucked up that you put the one in.
Well, it's about to.
It's about to crush wheels.
It's about to. Yeah.
Derpy Will
Get back to
Wheaton.
that. Who's
Oh
it
my
about?
god!
Comedy.
It's deep.
Should I send it to your mother?
No, this is deep.
Trey Fulton, we received a
happening?
package with a letter referring to a thing that started with it.
Yeah, it never does.
I don't know if it got left behind or I somehow
Oh, what's wrong?
dropped it in my adventures. I don't think I did, but we'll double check.
We've gotten a little distracted. I'm so sorry. Hello.
By the art.
Hello, internet.
This is awesome.
Double check and make sure what you meant to send actually got sent. And if it didn't,
I forgot my
resend
leggy hummus, so I
Or we'll
found
look
that.
around if we did and it might be throughout. But either way,
You need a battery. Is your phone dead?
I forgot my
here.
You just named it Negi Hama. I love that.
I mean, this is just crazy.
Oh, Matt, feel free to use it.
This is just
I don't
crazy.
even.
It's always crazy.
Oh, I see. You're so much smarter than me.
I just haven't been here in a long time. I haven't.
What phone have you been gone for 2 weeks?
With the whole crew, I haven't been here in 6 weeks.
What the hell's it called?
I see.
2 weeks.
Thunderbolt.
Divided, 2 weeks off,
There's-
another week off. I skipped a week.
I see. Interesting. This came at a unique time. Well, thank you very much, Trey. We shall see an alignment of some kind soon, based on your letter. That's fantastic. All right.
Okay, what's happening over there?
What's going on?
What happened? Who smelled?
What's going on?
This is
Madness, Bedlam.
This is super cool. Let me see yours.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Oh, when he looked at the.
So good.
Free feature offers and training.
Oh, this person does art on old paper.
Oh, I love.
I love it when people do that.
What do they
I know,
do?
what they do.
What they do? Old timey.
So, to Orion,
Orion.
said, as a big fan of Final Fantasy, I give you this poster of one of the greatest members of Soldier that ever lived.
That's crazy.
Awesome. From Marisha, you get these awesome
Thank you.
avatar prints.
I need more avatar art.
Yesterday when we both hired.
So cool,
Always.
Avatar.
Over there? Yep.
Here is pension. Oh, nice. Hopefully this will be my foe soon.
And they give me this awesome quote, which I think is actually pretty poignant. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle.
Oh, that's really cool.
Really good.
Very, very
like
sweet
that.
quote. I like that. Thank you so
That
much.
seriously needs to be framed.
Thank you so much, Paul. This is from Paul, guys.
Oh, thank you much.
At the
the
drive-in
what?
dictionary art.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much, Paul. I really,
His
really
Etsy
appreciate
store
that.
is at the drive-in.
That's so cute.
I'm building.
that-
I'm
isn't that
building a new booth
amazing?
at my house. This is all. I'm gonna hang all this stuff.
so
in my
cool.
new-
Hanging Momo.
So cool. Oh my god. All right. Oh, I know this. This is from
Perpetuation and perspective.
Ryan Cadenhead, who has designed and printed out this delightful entrance.
Oh yeah, I saw that online.
That was awesome.
Players take Guildhall for us.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
So we're gonna go ahead and set this aside so we can get this in so much form framed and put on the set here, because I think we need that to adorn
Yes.
our hall here. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I love it so much. All right.
So great.
Oh my.
So this is from Mike. His Twitter is OC Jericho, and on Twitch his name is Drake_Steele. So thank you so much, Mike. We're gonna go ahead and read this letter. Let me get to our letter reading moment. And he sent this. This is, Matt, I was going to get you some really cool dice, but then I felt bad if you killed someone with them, especially Trinket. P.S. I'm the asshole who destroyed the carpet. I just wanted you to actually say that out loud. Oh. Actually,
Thank you.
it's funny
Thank
because that came down to a very, very specific Arcana roll.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, whatever. I rolled an 18, yo. Like, whatever.
It's alright.
That
You got
should've been
tired of
alright.
us being able to fly everywhere.
It happened.
It happened.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
That carpet was a member of our family.
You don't know magic. Just don't get it. It's okay.
Whoa!
What was that?
Whoa.
That's a
What is
DM
that?
screen.
Oh my god, it's a DM screen! Oh my god! Oh my god! Man. What's it say? Is
How
that
do you
what
want
it
to
is?
do this?
Oh.
Whoa! Get that piece of cardboard out of the
Yeah,
way!
yeah.
Fucking
right
piece
now.
of cardboard
We
out of
love
here.
you, Wizards of the Coast, but look at that beautiful piece of wood.
No,
oh
this
my
is way
god!
cooler.
I have to transfer all my notes over.
It's alright, just put it
will.
aside, put it aside.
That is fantastic.
None of this makes any sense.
Thank you so
cool.
much.
Wow.
One of the coolest things.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Put it up. Put it in front of your stuff.
You just got a $1,000 donation from Lil Ray 11.
What? What are you talking about? 1,000.
just donated $1,000 and the message just said hi.
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 Hello.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Lil Ray.
Thank you, Lil Ray.
Thank you so much for the donation,
Wow.
Lil
From
Ray.
one Ray to another. What's up?
Okay.
Okay, you're.
What?
Oh, Mercer Ray.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ray.
Why are you guys so
Ray.
Thank you.
That's what? Wow.
What is this night? What is happening?
What is
I don't
happening?
even know anymore. It's like this weird phantom state where the world exists about nothing but positivity.
Guys,
are
let's not
ridiculous.
leave this studio ever.
Zach doesn't.
Yeah.
He's super happy.
Oh God!
Oh, he just gave me a death stare.
Oh my God! I can feel that.
And a little bit of my soul is gone.
There's heat. There's heat.
He just about, yeah.
Oh my God.
Zach's spirit animal is an illithid.
This is absurd. You guys are absurd. Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Everyone. That's
Amazing.
incredible. And
Guys,
thank you for this.
That's
Week-
so cool.
Seriously, week after week, we look at this. We don't know how this happened. We're very grateful. We love each other, obviously, but
We do.
But this community we're building, we're so grateful. Thank you. I mean, we're
Yeah,
blown away. Week
yeah.
after
We
week.
see your tweets. We see your Tumblrs. We see all your posts about staying up in South Africa till 4 o'clock in the morning
Say
to watch us
what?
live.
We
It's
talk about it.
insane.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We love it. We're fans of you.
We
So
know
yeah.
your names,
Keep
like
watching.
you know ours. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
know.
I watch
I'm
you
still
sleep.
learning
You
hers.
look
It's
beautiful.
vibes.
Yeah. Do we
Backs
seriously?
are
We
back.
have
Your
a
heart shows
message
down
thread. We
Yeah.
have a text
Thanks,
message
Hilda.
thread where we share all of your arts and.
I wish
Messages, you write
someday
us
we
on
can
Facebook.
publish
And
that
it's
text
so
message.
great.
I know,
It is
right?
so
Fun.
great meeting you guys at conventions and.
Yes.
The
And we're
deal-
totally biased towards Critical Role fans at conventions.
Yeah,
Also, we might be
noticed.
going to
You
New
haven't
York. Did we
noticed.
announce that?
A little bit.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Love them more.
we're trying the best we can to get out to more events to see you guys. Many times even under at our own dollar.
Yeah.
Just so we can meet more folks. We have the opportunity to. So hopefully we'll have more announcements coming soon about places that we can appear at and hopefully meet some of you folks that are a little further away from us. So
Yeah.
once again, thank you
The
tremendously.
excitement.
You're amazing.
The excitement is mutual.
Yeah.
It is.
And the art will be hung on our walls, and
They will.
we'll try to post pictures of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we leave every episode with an endorphin rush. That's
You have fleet and ability to sleep.
And day drunkenness.
and day drunkenness.
Also
apparently.
Also ale.
And also ale.
And I also want to just real quick, the people who have written us letters and emails and stuff
Yeah,
that we've received, like through our emails or Facebooks or whatever, like
On our Facebooks.
we share those also, and you move us constantly. And we want we wanted to thank you for those as well. We read them, and we love you too. So
There's a text thread that will be released posthumously once we're all dead.
Yeah, once
Yeah.
we're all dead.
Because there's,
Maybe we'll
there's
publish
some
it
naughty
today.
bits in there, but mostly it's just love.
mainly Sam's junk, but just take those pictures
A
out.
lot of dick pics.
There's no, I thought about it when he was taking out the trash. He had the
Literally.
Kind of great. We've got enough angles where we could probably model it pretty accurately
Yeah,
in 3D.
3D,
So like
3D models,
AutoCAD,
sure.
just plug it in, be good.
I also have to add that this has all the right names on the barrels, which makes me really happy.
I'm gonna come take a look at that.
I know.
That's awesome.
It's great.
Thank you again, guys.
Thank you.
Well-
Now we stay up till 3 a.m. reading the
All the tweets.
All the tweets.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
go
That's
sit
what
in
we
my
do.
bathroom
Yeah.
and read.
Friday morning, sleep does not come thanks to your guys' Twitter conversations.
And I just
so.
put my keychain on my keys.
I was already on there.
Thank you guys again so much for everything you do, for coming and watching our silly adventures, for doing silly stuff like this every week. And we'll have a PO box soon. We're gonna start doing our letter readings on Periscope for you guys, so we can be a little more personal. We love you. Next week, the adventure continues. Have a
Fuck
wonderful-
those Briarwoods.
Fuck the Briarwoods,
Fuck the
man.
Briarwoods.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you were here.
That's for you.
What?
This is a gift
Is that
for
a
you.
genuine
I
Burt
did it
Reynolds?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Signed.
We got this
It was a
last
gift.
week, right?
No.
Or the week before
Or
last.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
What?
Yeah,
Yep.
that was for you.
That's for you, but yeah.
From the infamous episode of 90210.
Wow. With Ian Zierling.
Wow.
Wow.
Isn't that Zach? I don't know
Two
who that is.
pillars of the industry at the top of their game.
Watch for it next February.
That's
Yes,
for you, man.
Ian
That's
Zierling.
I'm gonna put this on my wall.
Yes, yes, you are.
Amazing.
Oh, cheers, dears.
Cheers
All right,
indeed.
good night, all.
Guys.
Sleep well.
To the critters.
Sleep well, to the critters.
Critters. To Grog.
To 826
Huzzah.
LA.
826
To
LA, hopefully a
Grog's
video next week
Vengeance
or
in the
the week after.
Crucible.
Yes, Grog the
And is it Thursday yet?
Woohoo! Buy a shirt.
Oh,
Good
good
night.
sign off.